Mariah, are you still doing okay with all your wedding preparations?
Well, I'm making it along, I think. I was finally able to make a choice on a wedding dress just recently. I'll be getting it from a very famous dressmaker in France, so I'm looking forward to the final product.
Really? What kind? Wait, send me a picture later. I want to be surprised when I see it.
I can do that for you, but what's going on? These days you've really been asking me a lot about my wedding. I never really thought you'd care, since you rarely talk like you care about weddings.
Well, I can see that your wedding's going to be amazing. And the place you'll be holding it has a past of being the place that all actors and actresses go for their weddings, right? That's all really starting to pique my interest now.
Well, originally this place was only meant for people that knew a friend who has a friend, that sort of thing. But recently they've opened the place to more standard weddings. So we settled on going for this wedding hall as it'll make for some amazing memories there. And because we'll be able to say we got married in the same place this actor did, and so on.
Even having the ability to have a wedding there in the first place will leave you with great memories. Also, the one that actually got you into that place was your fiancé, Jason, right? I'm sure if it were up to you, you'd have just chosen any other normal wedding hall, right?
Huh? I mean, I guess so, but now that I've kind of seen how gorgeous the place is, I think it's worth the extra bit of money.
You're so lucky. You get to be married to a handsome man who has lots of money. You really won the lottery this time, huh?
I don't really think of it like that, though. Actually, you should be saying that about someone like him.
Okay. You don't have to be so boring about it. But I'm just saying you always have had this sort of luck with finding good people. I just wish at least one time you would have given one of those guys to me. But that's why I'm saying compared to most of the men you've had, this Jason guy is on top. I would really say he's my type as well.
I wonder if he's really the type of guy for you.
Of course he is, right? He has a perfect face and works as a businessman, right? I honestly never thought you were the kind of person to ever go for a man that amazing. I just assumed you were into the more simple kind of men, like those guys you've had before. Good looking and all, but just working a regular 9 to 5. Will you ever be able to marry someone like Jason who'll be working with his business all day and night and might not ever be home half the time?
Well, actually, Jason's not all that amazing.
Are you kidding? I'm sorry, but I don't see him as just some normal dude. I know that you've dated all sorts of men that might have had some cool things about you. But Jason's the first guy you're dating that has money. Hey, you should show me to one of his friends. He has to have a few that are single now with a lot of money as well, right?
I'm not sure if he has that many friends, actually.
I can't work with this. Are you saying you want to be the only one out of us sisters to become happy?
What makes you think that's what I want? I suppose I can go ask him if he has anyone he knows, but don't get your hopes up.
Thank you. I want to get married pretty soon too, so that I don't get left behind.
You don't have to be in that much of a rush, Carly. You're still a bit younger than I am. And you should spend a lot of that time finding the right person for you while also taking care of yourself.
Well, I want to become a young and beautiful mama. And also getting married to a well-off man will bring me lots of ease. I won't have to worry about a house or work, just money in general. You're so lucky, right? Once you've gotten married to Jason, you're going to quit your job, right?
I am not. I plan to continue working for as long as I can.
Wait, really? Things have really changed.
You think so? I thought it was normal for couples to work jobs simultaneously even after marriage. I mean, prices for things have really gone up and such, so it only makes sense to work together to afford what you want.
Well, when I get married, I'm never going to work again.
You shouldn't say something like that just yet, though. You never know what the future's going to hold for you.
Well, just make sure that you don't work to the point that Jason loses interest in you, okay? All you are to him is just some average working woman after all, so if you can't be home to clean the house and please him, he might start looking for someone else.
That's so right, but I'll be fine. Jason has a dream he's chasing, and so we've both agreed we'd work together towards it.
And that's fine, but... Well, anyway, I look forward to seeing that dress later. And once you have a plan of how the wedding will go, can you send it to me?
Huh? You want to know the planning as well?
That should be fine, right? I just want to know for future reference is all.
Okay, but... Chloe, hey, what's all of this? Are you really going to tell me that you and Jason have had a thing together?
Oh, you probably heard all of that from him then, huh? Well, thank goodness, because I was not looking forward to having to be the first to tell you.
This is all a joke, right? There has to be a misunderstanding somewhere, right?
We're serious. I'm so sorry, Mariah. But it seems that I am the one that Jason sees as fit to becoming his wife over you.
You and Jason being in a relationship together only started after I said I'd be marrying him, right?
That's right. Before you said anything about marriage, I didn't give a crap about him. I just assumed he'd be another one of those boring guys with base pay that you'd be getting with. But the fact that this time you decided it would be a handsome man with lots of money that you'd marry, I'd say that's all your fault. You should know better than to go after someone that's out of your league. I mean, you weren't even planning to become a housewife for him, even though he makes more than enough to support both of you.
So, from the start, you've been planning on stealing him from me then?
Well, come on, Mariah. I'm the far cuter sister of us two, and I'm willing to do anything to make him happy. And that makes me the better choice for him, right? And one other thing, I've gotten pregnant from him. So we have no other options besides taking responsibility for this.
I have known for a very long time now that you're a sly and selfish person. But I never once thought you'd go this far to take something, or I guess this time, someone from me. Why do you always have to come in and take things that aren't yours?
Because it's my right to. And I didn't even have to work hard for him. One day, I just happened to come across him, and we took a walk to the park, and the next thing you know, he and I are at the bar making out with each other. I'm so sorry for stealing your fiancé from you when you were so close to the wedding.
Ugh. It's fine, I guess. We may have only just handed in our marriage papers, but if he decided to cheat on me that fast, then I don't need him. I'm sure you'll find better use for him now than me.
No matter how you try and phrase it, I'm sure deep down you are raging over this, right? You're just trying to act tough now so that I can't enjoy the moment.
I'm not raging, but rather just sad that something like this could happen. The fact that the man I planned to have a wedding with was stolen by a family member who stabbed me in the back is just depressing.
You're not going to come to the wedding, right?
Wedding?
Right, your guys' wedding is only in a few more days, right? I'm thinking that I'll just take your place in it and get married to Jason there.
Even though that's the wedding I put all my sweat and tears into?
But listen, if you choose to cancel it right now, you'll have to pay a large fee. That'd be a huge waste of your money and time, right? And also, I've always wanted to have my wedding there. So I was just planning to change the name of the bride and then take it from you. I'm sure that wouldn't be a problem for you, right? Consider it like a present to me for getting married to the man of my dreams.
So the whole reason you've been asking me about the wedding plans is because you planned to steal that from me too?
And what if that was the plan?
You really are the worst person imaginable. Do you not realize how this all affects other people? Mom, Dad, Jason's family, me?
Well, in the end, it was Jason's choice, and he chose me. I never once forced him to say that he loves me. All I can say now is that you've lost this time. So don't try and make me feel bad about coming out as the winner here. He was the one that left you for me, right? And that was because of how basic you are, right? So that leaves you to blame.
I'm the one to blame?
Who else would be? If he really cared about being with you, he would have never chosen to leave you after getting married. I'm just saying that you didn't work hard enough for him. If you really wanted to keep him by your side, you should have been staying home every day and doing the chores, cooking his favorite food, and getting ready for bed with him.
I don't ever want to see you again. Why don't you just plan your own dang wedding? I highly doubt any of the people that are planning to be at my wedding are going to be happy to hear that you went and stole it from me.
Well, that's the thing. Mom was the one saying that all of this is okay with her.
Huh?
I'm sorry, but both Mom and Dad know about this. When I told them at first that I'd be marrying Jason after all, they were beyond shocked, but when they had a chance to think about it, they said they were okay with it. So they're both on my side, and I'm sure they'll let the rest of the family know that this is all okay as well.
I doubt that means that they really are okay with you stealing him from me, though.
No. They even told me that he's much better with someone like me rather than you.
Is that so? I wonder if that's what they meant. Maybe that was just them saying that in a world where I was never with him, he might be a good match for you.
Hey, can you make sure to handle the divorce paperwork and turn it in soon for me? We plan to get married tomorrow, so it'd be best if you have that handed in by the end of the day. I don't want to have any issues at the office with you not leaving him or something.
I am really never going to see you again.
Well, by doing that, you'd be saving me a lot of drama. Jason and I feel the same way about you anyway. We have no plans on ever having you around us while we're married. So please keep to yourself from now on. It'll make things so much easier.
I will.
Well, I look forward to becoming more happy than you soon. And send me your new house's address when you have to move out so that I can send you pictures of our wedding. Thank you so much for introducing me to such a perfect man.
Hey, Mariah, are you okay? I heard all about this from Carly. That little girl really has no respect for anyone besides herself. And I was told by Jason that he does want to leave me. We've only been married for a month, and yet it's already over. This is the worst day of my life, Mom. What did I ever do to deserve this? Mariah! My husband was stolen from me, and now the wedding that I worked so hard on is being taken over. Can you believe this? This always happens when it comes to Carly. And she told me that you're completely fine with her marrying Jason? She told me that you guys said it was all okay? I wouldn't say we agreed with all of it. But come on, Mariah. Isn't it great that your sister and Jason get to be happy together? What? I was completely fine with you getting married to Jason, but your dad was a bit hesitant on saying that it was okay. About Jason? Yeah, your dad thinks he's not strong enough to be your husband. And that would make you the man of the house in the long run, right? I know that Jason told us he's a businessman and all. But doesn't that give you a little anxiety? He doesn't have the safety that some average 9-to-5 man has. And when it comes to things like living expenses, you'd be the one that would pay more while he's focused on his business, right? Well, anyway, I know that he has the possibility of coming out with a lot of money if he does well, but what about Carly? She's just working part-time right now. Do you really think things will go well for those two after marriage? Right, and yet Jason still chose her over me. I wonder what will happen to them. Who knows? I'm sure that this is all because Carly doesn't understand everything quite yet, right? She thinks that he has all this money, right? Now that you mention it, she did say that. She said that it was like I had won the lottery. Well, when she was talking to me about him, she never said a thing about his job or the money he's making. But she made it seem like he'd be the one to pay for the whole wedding. So I'm thinking, although the two of them are fine getting married, the marriage she thinks she'll be getting is far from the reality that'll be taking place. I really have no high hopes for them. But do you think that Jason would have told her the truth about all of this? Well, I think that Jason isn't in the right mindset to be saying things about himself that might turn her away. He might have even been eyeing her back when he was with you and lied about all his money so that she would take him. I think the moment he lied to her, she was in his pocket for marriage. But I'm sure he doesn't know about any settlements that might come out of this yet. Huh? That's not going to be something that'll happen, right? I think Carly expects him to do something stupid, and that she can use that as a way of getting money out of him. If that's not what she has planned, then I'm not really sure what she's in this for. If that's really what she wants from their marriage, then she really is a huge idiot. Right? Isn't this going to be great to watch play out? The two of those idiots are going to ruin themselves. Just thinking of it like that, well, it makes me feel a little bit better. Mariah, I know that right now things probably feel awful for you. And I bet you don't have the energy to move on right now, but it's going to be okay. Mom, your dad and I are here for you. We only let Carly have her way with Jason so that she can get what she deserves. We don't even plan to go to that wedding anymore, and we are going to cut ties with her once she realizes the mess she's made for herself. So, let's just support each other as we wait for the big ending. Hey, I'll even take you out tomorrow to meet this really nice lawyer that I know. You can just come along with me and listen while we meet him.
Mariah, do you happen to know what day it is? Of course you know, right? It's the day of my wedding. After all, it's the day you had been preparing for us for so long.
Why the hell have you decided to text me now?
I was just thinking of how you might be at home, sobbing, and so I wanted to check on you. And right now I'm getting my hair done, so I have time to talk.
I guess you have a bit of time still. By the way, did you guys hand in the marriage papers at the city office?
We sure did. And so now I'm the new wife of Jason.
Hey, you had said that Jason has a lot of money, but do you actually know how much he makes in a year?
Well, I'm not sure, but if he's able to get a wedding hall like this for us, then he's at least making $100,000 right now, right?
Well, no. He's only making $20,000 right now.
Seriously? What kind of a joke is that?
That wasn't a joke. I know that he said he's a businessman and is around a bunch of high-level people, but really he's more like a freelancer. I was even the one paying for his apartment for a while, and I was planning on paying for most of that wedding.
And why would you ever have to be the one to pay that much money? All you are is an office worker.
Well, yeah, I work as an office worker, but how does that make my salary low?
Oh, please, I know better. You wouldn't actually be making more than Jason, right?
I'm only telling you the truth right now, Carly. But if Jason really does have all the money you think he has, why would he be planning to move into your apartment with you?
Well, he told me that you took the house from him.
Well, that's because this house has been under my name ever since I bought it. So it seems you've been lied to.
What the heck are you even talking about? All I can hear right now is a loser trying to make me come down to her level with her. Do you not realize that once we finish up this wedding, we plan to move into a new house? We've talked about living in a penthouse from where we'll have some of the best scenery.
Well, that day's never coming. Jason already has nothing in his bank account, and he'll have to deal with a settlement from me for cheating. There's also the wedding costs that he'll need to pay now that I'm not there. You both are going to be living in money borrower's hell for a long time.
There's no way that's happening. You really are having a rough time dealing with losing your man to me. And that's why you keep feeding lies like this to me.
Mom and Dad are also very much aware that Jason isn't making much money.
What?
And that's why they ended up saying you both work so well together. You're also both just insufferable people to be around. So you really both are just perfect for each other.
What you're saying is bullcrap, right?
Not one bit. And also, here's another thing I've heard from Mom. Are you in some debt right now? If you expect Jason to be there to help you pay all of that off, I would really think again.
Hey, why did I just hear from Jason that he's starting to catch on to some things?
Well, I just told him. I said that he should watch out because you might be trying to take his money.
But he's telling me right now that he's not going to help. What's going on? What have you done? So you were being serious about all of this then?
I told you that everything I've said thus far has been the truth, right?
You kept all this from me. What is wrong with you? There is no reason for me to even be marrying a guy who has no money. I won't even be able to get a settlement from him if he were to slip up.
Well, have a great time at that wedding today.
There's just no way I can have a good time now. Hey, Mariah, you're making more than Jason is, right? If so, do you think that you can lend me a small amount of money?
I have no reason to do that for someone that's stolen my husband, right?
Well, I don't need him now. You can have him back as long as you give me some money.
I don't need a man like him either. He and I are just exes now. And also, you're pregnant with his baby right now, correct? You have to stay with him so that you can both raise that baby, okay?
I'm not pregnant, though.
Oh? So that was also a lie then. Well, with the way things have turned out, I guess that doesn't matter. Mom, Dad, and I have all decided on cutting ties with you after all this as well.
Mariah, I'm actually really sorry.
Even if you apologize to me, there's nothing I can do for you.
I had thought that you were going to be marrying a man with lots of money, and so I became jealous of that. And with the debt I've been in, I thought that Jason would be able to help me out, or at least I could get some money from him in a divorce if he didn't agree to help.
And so because of that way of thinking, you decided to steal him from me and marry him? This all seems like the price you have to pay for being such a jerk.
I'm sorry. I really, really am sorry. I really didn't do the right thing. I should have thought twice about this.
What are you talking about? You're supposed to become happier than me now, right? I mean, I'm already pretty happy that you took that loser off my hands. So that means you should be even happier than I am by the end of today, right? Once Carly had stopped talking to me, she and Jason got into a huge fight in front of everyone at the wedding, and it ended up getting canceled. Of course, because this wedding ended up having a different bride than it was originally supposed to, Carly didn't invite many of her friends as she didn't want them to suspect anything, and the same goes for Jason. But for those that did come and those that already knew of him cheating on me, they all cut ties with both him and Carly. And now, Jason and Carly are going to have to pay me a settlement for the affair, and will have to deal with the cost of that wedding getting canceled. So together, the two of them borrowed an enormous amount of money from the bank in the hopes that it'd be enough to cover everything. But then, Jason used most of that borrowed money on paying for the wedding and then some other debts of his as well. My parents knew that Carly would never get enough to pay me after Jason spent most of what they had, and so instead of cutting ties with her like they said before, they told her to go to work at one of the resorts they owned so that she could slowly save up the rest. However, once she has paid everything that I asked for to me, they said that they'd fire her from the resort and then never talk to her again. Also, once they had finished paying off most of the big fees and payments they needed to handle, the two of them got divorced. But this wasn't without them both going to court to fight each other for lying about their situations before the marriage. Even still, they'll come to find that both of themselves are equally to blame for this situation. So they would have been better off just staying together and starting fresh. As for myself, losing my husband and my wedding really ruined my spirits for a little while. But now, after seeing everything play out between those two, I can say that I've made it out of this with zero regrets. I'm sure that if I had stayed with him, something similar to what he did with my sister would have happened to me for sure. So having Carly steal him from me only a month into our marriage really made it way too easy for me to divorce Jason and make it out unscathed. For the time being, I'm not going to be looking for any love and will only focus on my work and my private life alone. I want to give my heart a little time to cool off after something as insane as all this happened. I'll also keep telling myself the same thing my sister would say, and that's that I always seem to be pretty lucky.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.
Hello, Jade. Did you know that I've already gotten engaged and will be getting married to my man very soon? Make sure to celebrate for me, please, so that I don't feel too sad.
Wow! Congratulations, Eloise!
Thank you so much. Can you make sure to tell my older brother that I've gotten engaged as well? I want to make sure that he knows so that one day he doesn't come after me for not saying anything.
And you want me to tell him for you? This is something you're happy about, so you should tell him in person yourself, right?
But that guy is always so annoying, so I don't really want to talk to him about it. Ever since we both were young, he'd always be a jerk about anything I'd bring up. And so I'm sure that if I brought up my engagement, he'd start trying to tell me all sorts of things that I should be aware of when it comes to marriage.
You think so?
Yeah, telling me to make sure that I don't do anything to upset my fiancé, or telling me to become even more mature now that I'm going to be someone's wife. All that crap, you know? He's even more annoying than my own parents are. And that's saying something.
I think that he's just worried about you, Eloise. I don't think any of what he'd have to say would be done in spite. If anything, I think he's always trying to make sure his little sister will live life without any regrets.
Well, no matter what he tells me, I wouldn't really care. But I just don't want to listen to him go on, or else he'll kill my mood. That's why I'd like you to talk to him about me getting engaged, okay?
Alright, I'll let him know. Is your fiancé the man that's been working at the brokerage firm? He seemed like a pretty nice guy the last time you told me about him.
Hold on, who are you talking about? I broke up with that guy a while ago. Like years ago, actually.
Is that so? I guess the last time I spoke to you about your dating life was a long time ago, huh?
It was a very long time ago. That guy was maybe 5 guys ago or so. I totally didn't even remember who you were talking about for a second there.
You've had that many boyfriends since then? You really are an incredible girl, I guess.
I just wanted to try out all different types of men. If I don't have a chance to test around, I'll never be able to know what kind of man I'm willing to marry. But having them all around has made for some good backup in my reserves.
Backups?
Just in case anything happens. Wouldn't want to have a breakup or divorce without having someone to fall back on now, would I?
I hope that doesn't mean you're cheating at all right now, right?
Well, for a while, I had been dating around with a couple different guys at the same time. I had wanted to get married before I turned 30, so I had to speed things up by going out with so many men at once. And since most of those men didn't want marriage, I thought it'd be okay to at least keep dating while going out with new men. That way, I always felt like I had at least someone around in case I couldn't find a husband.
I guess you really have some strict standards then, huh?
Well, they have to have a good salary, and I want them to have a good enough job that we never have to worry about them losing it in the future. I also like to stick around and see if they plan to be a family man or not. Can't be marrying a man that doesn't like his wife and plans to have no kids. And lastly, whether the family they come from has money as well.
You even care about the money their family might have?
Well, if the family happens to be poor, then there's no meaning to the money that my future husband would have. They'd end up taking money away from him all the time, and him and I would become poor as well. I didn't want to help out the rest of his family with problems that aren't our own. I plan to buy a lot of things, and go overseas a lot, and if the family needs our money, my dreams will never come true.
I see. So, I suppose that the man you've got engaged with has passed all those standards?
That's right. He's a doctor at a university hospital nearby. And both of his parents are also doctors, and his dad happens to run a hospital and a few small clinics in the area. And his dad also has a lot of properties, meaning that his bank account must be stacked.
That's pretty amazing to hear. A very wealthy family then, huh? Must be nice knowing that they can take care of themselves then.
And my man's face is super handsome. It's narrow yet very well chiseled, and he has some very broad shoulders on him that I love to hold on to. He's the best man I could have even asked for, and so it's perfect that he's asked for my hand in marriage.
But there are other reasons why you chose him, right? Not just for his money or looks, right? What else do you love about him?
The only reason I love him is for his money.
But you're planning to marry him because you love him, right?
Well, I suppose so, yeah.
You suppose so?
I do love him a lot. He's an amazing man with a lot of success ahead of him. And when his parents eventually pass away, him and I will get a lot of money from them. That means we can use all of that money on anything we want. So I love him and his money, actually. I look forward to our future together.
That sort of seems a little bit suspicious, though.
But I'm being honest about the reasons I love him. Being married to him will eventually make me a celebrity myself, and I put a lot of effort into making a man like him fall in love with me.
Well, I guess that's all great to hear. So, tell me, how did you end up roping a man of his status in?
He was the hardest man for me to get. His family is very strict about things like being good people and helping others, and they passed that on to him. So I went ahead and did some volunteering and made myself look just perfect for him. And I only did that to impress him because I'd never volunteer for any other reason.
You went and volunteered somewhere?
I went to a rescue pound, and there I went and took care of a lot of dying dogs and such. They were all barking loud, and most of them smelled like poop. It was the worst.
I have to bring this up, but you don't seem like the kind of person to like volunteering, right?
Yeah, I freaking hate doing it. Working any job for free is the stupidest thing anyone could do to themselves. And so in the end, I had to quit helping at that place.
I see. I guess you do have the choice to quit volunteering whenever you'd like.
I just made some other people take over for me and left. But I did make an effort to volunteer, and so that was enough for me. Just being there to put a little time in is all that mattered in the end.
I see what you mean.
The most important thing is that I got him to respect me, and now he's mine.
So, I guess, when are you guys planning to have your wedding, if you're going to have one? You seem to have a lot of money to work with now, so I'm sure that the wedding is going to be gorgeous.
Oh, we'll make sure that this wedding is like something out of a princess movie. Right now, we're planning on having the wedding in a year. We were able to put in a reservation at a place that has an amazing view over the ocean.
So in another year then. I'm looking forward to it.
Having a whole year to prepare for it will make sure that we have everything in order and that the wedding goes perfectly for the two of us. And even he wants to make sure that this wedding goes as smooth as possible so that he can impress everyone. I really do have to make sure that this wedding shows everyone that I have truly succeeded.
That sounds like it will be a great time preparing for it.
Of course we will. And I'm hoping that most of this wedding won't cost my man and I much at all. We'll make sure that those attending gives us lots of money to make it happen. And don't forget that we'll be having an after party. Do you plan on coming, Jade?
I suppose I'll have to say no to that. I have a daughter of my own now, and she's young and needs to be cared for as well.
Are you sure? Well, at least having you all at the wedding will still make me happy. I hope you're really looking forward to this.
I'm sorry, Eloise. I don't think that we'll be able to make it to your wedding now.
What? Why not?
My daughter just got into an accident.
An accident?
As she was walking around this morning with me, she got hit by a bicyclist. Right now, we're on our way to the hospital with her.
Oh, come on now. She was only hit by a bike. There's nothing serious about that. I thought you meant she was run over by a semi or something more terrifying.
But she got hit in the head really hard, and at the moment she still hasn't come back to reality fully. We're going to get her examined right now, so there's no time for us to come to her wedding today.
Hold on a minute, Jade. Are you seriously saying that you're going to cancel coming to my wedding after it took me a year to prepare it?
I'm very sorry, Eloise. Your brother and I were really looking forward to it. But with what just happened to her daughter, there's just no way we'll be able to make it in time.
Well, then go and drop her off at the hospital and you to come here. Just have the doctors fix her up while you're both here celebrating my perfect day.
There's no reason for me to leave my baby girl here while she's this hurt. Right now, my husband is calling your parents about this. Us not coming there isn't going to be a problem for your wedding, right? I mean, it shouldn't change anything for you.
But it really will, though. You guys have to be here to help out with the wedding.
What rules?
While everyone's being seated, I was going to have the two of you help guide people.
I never heard you ask that from us, though.
Why wouldn't you guys do that for me? I just wanted to make it a surprise for you both. I was going to have you guys do it like a performance so that everyone could enjoy the perfection. But now that you guys say you're not coming, I'm screwed. Don't you dare ruin my special day for me.
You have a good point. I really don't want to do that to you, but I'm sorry, Eloise.
If you want to apologize to me, then do it by coming here right now.
I cannot do that now. I'm far too worried about the state of my daughter.
Why would you guys do this to me? What made you all think it was a good idea to get into an accident?
I'm sorry, but the timing for this wasn't something we could control. I really do feel bad for ruining the mood for you right now.
Don't freaking say crap like that to me. God dang it. Just because of this, you're going to make me hate you. You think you're good parents, yet you took your eyes off of her. Now she's hurt because you couldn't do your dang job. If you can't take care of a simple girl, then maybe you shouldn't have any more kids.
Calm down a bit, Eloise. I understand that we may have to put a small dent in your plans, but us all not being there shouldn't end up ruining your whole wedding today, right?
Well, I'm the kind of person that wants everything to be perfect. I need everything to be perfect. So if things can't happen just the way I planned, then I'll never forgive whoever ruined them. Do you two really feel like it's the right choice to ruin the wedding that I spent a whole year preparing for?
Eloise, I'm asking you to please understand me. Right now is an emergency for her family. When something happens to our daughter that's this serious, we don't have the ability to abandon her.
I don't give a crap about what kind of situation you're all in.
What?
I'm the one that's put all my effort into this wedding, so you need to respect and celebrate me. Don't tell me you're going to turn me away for some little hurt girl. This is what happens when you don't take care of your little girl. So now just leave her at the hospital and come here.
The bicyclist wasn't paying any attention to the path and ran into her. My daughter is a victim in all of this.
The only victim right now is me. Not having my older brother and his wife come today is messed up big time. Don't you freaking dare cause me to become an embarrassment.
I'm not trying to embarrass you. I'm sure that if you explain all of this to your husband and his parents, they'd all understand our situation.
I don't want my in-laws to think I'm the kind of daughter-in-law that would allow an event to be ruined over some hurt little girl. I can't deal with this, Jade. You're going to ruin everything for me over some little idiot child. This is going to be the worst day of my life. You guys would have had her on a leash or something while walking around.
You stop saying things like that right now. I really do feel bad for what's happened, but I never remember it being okay for you to start talking like this about my family.
All I'm doing is telling you the truth, though. Canceling on the day of my wedding is the stupidest thing you guys could do to me.
Even my husband is becoming upset by you, Eloise.
And so what? The both of you are a bunch of losers.
Is your wedding really that important to you? Is it really more important than the life of a little child?
Even if by a little, it's still more important than her.
I can't believe this. Just understand that we are not coming today. So give up on trying to be a monster towards us.
The rehearsal for the wedding will begin in another hour. You're going to have to meet all of my husband's family, so hurry up and get over here.
What are you talking about? Did I not just tell you that we are not coming today?
And I said that your daughter being hurt has nothing to do with my wedding. It's that brat's fault in the first place for getting in an accident.
You're going to keep blaming my daughter for this? It's not her fault that the bicyclist was looking at his phone while riding and then hitting her.
Well, that brat deserved to get hit by a bike. Now leave her there and come to my wedding. She's not even awake right now, right? So you both don't even need to be there for her. And even if she were to pass away right now, I wouldn't forgive you for staying out of the wedding.
You really are being cruel right now. Which is wild because your husband is right next to us and he's put off by what you said.
My brother is your husband, right?
No, I'm talking about your husband right now, Eloise. Of course my husband is right next to me as well, but so is your husband.
What are you talking about? There's no way he'd be there with you guys. He was just here with me a little bit ago before he had to start doing my makeup.
Well, he was just asked to come in by the hospital.
They called him in? You're lying, right?
Can't say no when he's on call. And the hospital is only 15 minutes away from your guys' wedding by car.
Huh? We were just about to get things started here and you went back there?
I don't think you understand what's about to happen. Your husband just saw the text you've been sending to me about my daughter. You must have always faked being the nice girl in front of his face, right?
You're wrong. This is all a huge misunderstanding.
What about this is a misunderstanding? You're just going on about how us canceling our spot in the wedding due to our daughter getting hurt is unforgivable, right? You even told me that your wedding is more important than my daughter's life.
Well, that was just me saying random crap.
Right now, your husband is really shocked by all of this. He's the kind of man that sacrifices anything for others' lives. And so seeing you say the opposite about someone's life has really put him in a mood.
You're just trying to make me look bad. Who would think that I was being that mean to your daughter? You? My brother?
Right now's not the time to worry about what we think of you. You should be more worried about whether your husband is still going to go through with respecting you as his wife. In other words, I think you may have just pissed off your husband a lot.
But I put in so much effort to make sure that him and I are married and happy.
All I heard was you trying to volunteer for a bit, even though you hate volunteering. But in the end, you just ended up forcing your work onto others and going home.
Don't say that right now.
And we made sure to talk about why you only chose your husband for his money and his family's money. You said that when his parents passed away, you take their money and use it for whatever you both liked, correct? You said to me you looked forward to that the most.
Why are you saying all of that right now? I never said anything like that. Stop trying to make me look bad.
I'm not the one making you look bad, though. I have all those things right here in the text messages to show to your husband.
Stop trying to do all those useless things.
For a long time, I always thought you were in a pain in our butts. But I never planned on doing anything about it, and never was going to talk to your husband about you either. There's no reason for me to be telling him something you guys need to figure out. But today, you show me that you're a little too ungrateful and selfish. Your husband is going to start heading back to the wedding now. I'm looking forward to seeing what happened now.
Now everything's starting to fall apart. This is all because of you two, you know.
Blame us all you want, Eloise. But whatever has happened since your husband went back to you both, we have no clue about.
He has told everyone that he's canceling the wedding.
Well, that seems like a fair move by him. After learning about the real Eloise, he must have had a change of heart for you.
And that's because you both made me look bad in front of him.
You're the one that made yourself look bad in front of us. And since your husband came here to help us, we decided to help him out in return. We mentioned to him that if his wife has turned out to be this bad, life living together with her will only become worse.
What the hell were you both thinking? I had only just gotten close to everyone in his family, and now his parents are saying they no longer want to be near me.
Seems that his parents has learned about the real you as well, huh? But are you guys going to actually be able to cancel that wedding today?
Well, now we're going to have to because of you guys. I had asked his parents and mine if we could just go ahead with the wedding, but he won't let me have it now due to you guys.
Well, he has the right to ask for it to be over.
He said that if he has to marry a witch like me, his family's name will be stained. What does he mean by stained?
When he says he's strained, I think he means he's strained. Everything he knew about you turned out to be false, and he doesn't even know if you love him for the right reasons anymore. And when you look at it from his parents' point of view, they all see you as a threat to their family's legacy and wealth.
Who's a threat to their family's wealth? Everybody happens to lie a little to get a man to marry them, right? Him thinking that I've done anything wrong today is him being overdramatic.
True. Most people do tend to lie about few things at first when they like someone. But in your case, you lied about everything to him. I don't think you're going to be able to change the man you forced him to be now. So can you just give up?
Don't say that like it's been so easy for me too. I put all of my life into this wedding, so there's no way I'll give up on it.
Then maybe try forcing the wedding to go on. Your husband isn't into it anymore, so the whole time, it'll feel like hell in there. But if you like the feeling of everyone's disdain for you, then go right ahead and have that wedding. Yeah, I'm sure that a wedding like that will never actually work out.
Stop making fun of me!
I don't think this is the time for you to be making fun of everyone else by still trying to fight them on canceling the wedding. If you really wanted to hide the truth about the horrible person you really are, then you should have made sure to hide yourself from everyone. From there, Eloise tried her best to get her husband to understand her and have the wedding, but nothing changed his mind. Her husband ended up taking care of the wedding's cancellation fees, as well as make sure to make an apology to all those that attended. but he was able to get his way, and the wedding had officially been canceled. However, when he was apologizing to everyone that gave their time to be there, he wasted no time making sure to tell them all about the awful person that was Eloise, causing her to have to just stand there in huge embarrassment. This was something that was learned after all that had happened, that Eloise happened to have some major debt. It seemed that while she was searching for a perfect man, she had spent a lot of money, and I mean a lot of it. She spent it on going to get manicures, salons, plastic surgery, and much more to make herself the most standout woman for the man she was going after, and that cost her a pretty penny to do. I'm sure she did all that expecting the man she married to pay all the debt off for her in the end, but since things ended up the way they did, she's now stuck with a lot of debt to pay off and no money at all. When it comes to my daughter, she was able to wake up from her slight coma after the accident, and we were able to take her home. There was only a slight concussion, surprisingly, and so there was no damage done to her brain. Having her recover as well as she did has really been a relief to me. After everything, I've never heard anything from Eloise, and I haven't even seen her anymore. And that's the way I'd like things to be for the rest of our lives.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.
Hey Paula, are you still not home yet? I didn't hear you come in or anything if you did.
Oh, hey Terry, are you already at home now?
Yeah, I am actually. I was able to get off work just a little bit earlier than usual, thankfully.
I see. Yeah, sorry, I'm not home yet. I'm just out at a cafe with a friend catching up a little bit. I hope that's all right. I was gonna come home right after this.
Oh, is that what you're doing? Which cafe are you at? I can go and pick you up if you'd like.
Oh, no, you really don't have to do anything like that. I was really just about to start heading home now. Would you mind if I asked you to make dinner tonight, though? I didn't have a chance to prepare anything.
Yeah, I don't mind cooking at all, but... Well, do you think you've been going out maybe a little too much these days?
I haven't thought so. But do you think I've been going out too much?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, obviously there is nothing wrong with having plans and doing things out of the house. Just feels like you're always out and doing something, and never home though.
But there's nothing really wrong with that, right? I mean, you and I don't even have kids or anything, so it's not like there's anyone waiting for us at home.
I guess you have a point there, yeah.
Or are you just trying to tell me that I should be going out too much because you thought you married a housewife? I guess I should probably just be waiting at home for you every day, only thinking about keeping the house clean and feeding you.
No, Paula, of course I don't think that way at all. You know I would never say anything like that. I just think that maybe you've been acting a little weird is all. I don't know, it just feels like you're acting coldly towards me lately.
How am I acting coldly towards you? I literally just said I was about to go home because you were asking.
I know that, but whenever I get home from work, you just go straight to the bedroom and don't come out. I feel like we have barely even seen each other at all this past month.
Well, I'm sorry, but I'm tired. Besides, there's nothing wrong with trying to go to bed at a reasonable time.
I'm not saying that anything you're doing is bad, just that it's affecting me a little.
If what I'm doing is only affecting you, then maybe you should keep all your griping to yourself. I'm sure that you think life is so easy just because I don't work, but I still have a lot of things I need to do every day. So I'm sorry, but I really don't need you telling me when I should and shouldn't be home. I know what I'm doing and I know when I need to rest, okay?
You're right. I'm really sorry about all this. Forget I said anything. I guess I was just a little worried is all.
And what are you worried might be happening, Terry?
I don't know, I just really feel like we haven't been talking at all for a while. Some days it feels more like we're roommates than a married couple living together, you know?
I don't know what you want me to say. We've been married 3 years. It's only natural that we would find less and less things to say to each other. Honestly, I'm the girl here and you're the one crying to me about your feelings. Have you always been such a sensitive little boy?
I'm not being a sensitive little boy. I just want to have a life where I'm happily living with you.
Well, I am plenty happy where we are, thank you very much. Anyways, I'm getting off the bus right now, so I'll be home soon.
Okay then, sounds good to me. See you soon, I guess.
Anyways, just hurry up and get dinner ready, okay? Once I get home, I just want to eat, get into the bath, and then go to sleep.
Paula, please, you have to come home. We really have some things that we need to talk about right now.
I already told you everything that I have to say to you, okay? I want a divorce. Why is that so hard to understand? I'll pay you alimony or whatever you want, but I want this and I'm not going to change my mind.
I know, but I mean, are you really going to divorce me just to remarry my brother? I don't get it. How did this happen? When did this all happen?
And to think that you were so close to getting it too. You even said that I was acting strangely recently, right? Remember, you were complaining about how often I was going out and things like that. Did it ever cross your mind that it was because I met someone special?
So you mean that this whole time, you two have been... No, I don't believe it. I don't want to believe it. I mean, how could you leave me for my own brother? If you wanted to cheat on me, fine, but not with him.
I just couldn't help myself. It's not really my fault. I mean, Mark is just such a cool guy, and it makes me happy being with him.
So, then when did you first two start seeing each other?
Do you really want to hear the whole story of how we got together? Why would you put yourself through something like that?
I want to know for myself. Please, the least you can do is give me some kind of explanation for why you're doing this. Besides, this is still within my family. I have a right to know.
God, you're so annoying. Do you know that? Mark already said that he would be willing to pay you to settle the affair. Why can't that just be the end of it?
Well, I tried calling Mark too, but he wasn't picking up his phone. I can't get in touch with him or my parents.
Well, we already know what they would say. All of you warned me to stay away from Mark, but you had no idea what you were talking about.
I really think you're making a mistake. Are you really going to go through with this? Are you and Mark really going to get married? Was I really that bad of a husband to you?
There you are again, sounding like a cute little girl with all your crying and moping. This is why I chose your brother over you. Sure, you're a nice guy who can be sweet and all. But Mark... Well, I mean, what else do I have to say? But you've seen how much money he makes.
So then this whole thing has just been about money to you? Nothing more than that?
What are you talking about? You are the one who told me that I needed to cut back on my spending, don't you remember?
But I only said that because you were going out to eat so often and having food delivered all the time. That and you were always using our credit cards just to buy expensive things that we didn't really need.
Well, I'll have you know that your brother never once told me that I couldn't buy whatever I wanted. And after we get married, he said I don't even have to keep the house clean for him. He told me that I would never have to work a day in my life.
I really don't know what else to say this, but I really don't think that you should trust everything Mark says.
What do you mean? You're just jealous because your brother stole me away from you and you're being a sore loser. Man, you really are just a big crybaby, do you know that? This is the kind of stuff that I left you for, just so you know.
I'm sure it sounds that way right now, but I'm really trying to warn you. I mean, you remember when we got married? I also told you that you should probably try to keep your distance from him, remember? I mean, even you weren't a fan of him when you two first met.
Yes, but that was then, when I didn't know how much money he actually made. I asked him on one little date, and in the span of it, he proved to be a charming, interesting man. Not to mention the fact that he runs his own business. Obviously, you're just jealous of how much more successful Mark is than you. Even Mark has noticed it, though. He says he uses your sibling rivalry to help fuel him towards future successes.
I never really thought that we had any kind of rivalry before now. Really, if anything, Mark is just kind of known for always causing trouble for the family.
You mean that he caused trouble for the family because he was busy getting his career on track? But now he's a huge hit, and him and I are going to live happily ever after.
Are you really sure about this? You're not going to regret any of this at all.
Of course I'm not going to. Mark loves me, and I love him, and we're going to live together, and Mark is going to give me whatever I want without ever asking anything of me. He promised that he would. It's perfect.
Well, if you're really sure about this then. But I just ask that you wait a little longer before I go and turn in the divorce papers.
Are you serious? Why would you make me wait? I want to get married, and you're just standing in my way because you know that you can.
I'm sorry, but I just can't sign these right away. Just because you asked me to. I just need a little time to process things, okay?
Fine. How about I give you until the end of the week, okay? But I don't want to be kept waiting any longer than that. Just let me go live my best life already.
Hey, Mom. Are you there? I just wanted to apologize for everything that's going on.
Oh, Mark. I was just thinking about you. How are you doing?
Well, I've been better, that's for sure. But I think that I'll be okay. I do want to try talking to Paula at least one more time, though. Although I don't really think she's interested in doing any of that.
Oh, I see. Well, that really is too bad.
That, and she seems to think that I'm a crybaby. Like when she gave me the divorce papers for me to sign, I asked her if it was too late to fix things between us.
I understand how you feel, son. All of this is happening so suddenly, and you must be struggling to take it all in.
But the thing is that I've actually thought that Paula has been acting strangely for months now. But anytime I tried to ask her about it, she would just pretend to not know what I was talking about. And since I didn't want to annoy her, I dropped the subject in the end.
Well, that makes sense, though. No one wants to cause conflict or arouse suspicion with your partner. We want to think that we can always trust the people that we care about. But it seemed that Paula has made her decision, hasn't she? And that brother of yours, what are we going to do with him?
I know. I was so shocked that he would do this to me. I'm still not over it.
Well, I think that it's more than fair to say this is all his fault. Maybe it's mine, though, too. Maybe I should have been more strict with him growing up.
I don't think it's that, Mom. Mark is an adult now, and he is responsible for his own decisions.
Oh, I agree with you. I just meant that maybe I should have cut him off a long time ago. If I had done that, then maybe none of this would have happened.
You mean like stop talking to him entirely? Who knows really, but either way, it doesn't change what's going on right now.
Well, so then what do you want to do about this?
When I was talking to Paula earlier, she told me that she was getting with Mark because he says he makes more money than me.
Wait, did he really say that to her? But what's wrong with how much you make? You live very comfortably.
Apparently, he makes more than me, and that was all that Paula needed to hear. I really didn't think she was that kind of person.
Terry, honestly, I think this could be seen as a good thing. You should sign these divorce papers. If Paula and Mark are really going to be like this, then you don't need them in your lives any longer.
Mom, do you really mean all that?
Of course I do. We should just cut them off and watch them struggle on their own.
Struggle? But Paula doesn't really make it sound like that's what either of them have in mind.
Terry, do you know what your brother does for a living?
Well, Paula told me that he said he runs his own business. But I haven't really talked to Mark in years, so I don't know myself. If I'm being honest, I really have tried to keep my distance from keeping up with Mark's life after all the trouble he caused you, Mom.
Well, I am sure that Terry has way less than he's letting on. And I'm sure that he's lying about his job as well.
How can you be so sure about that? Why would he lie about something like that?
I really hate to talk like this about my own son, but I don't think there's anything else that can be done for him. Those two have made their own decisions, and we need to leave them to face the consequences of them. I think that you should sign those divorce papers and send them out as soon as you can.
Well, even Paula was bugging me to do so. Maybe I should. Yeah.
You're only delaying the inevitable. You know that she isn't going to change her mind.
You're right. I know you're right, but should I try fighting for her like a man or something?
Son, you shouldn't let what Paula was saying get into your head. If you are aware enough of your feelings to be able to speak openly about them, no one should ever put you down for that. I think that it's not going to be easy for a while, but I think we both know that you are not going to fix things with Paula. In fact, if I'm being honest, I'm opposed to you even trying to do so with her.
I was wondering when someone was just going to come out and say it. You're right. I need to do this. For me.
I think what you need right now is some time by yourself to think about what's going on and what you want to do next. But just know that I am here for you, okay? I know things are really hard right now, but you're going to be okay. You're my son, and I'm very proud of you. Terry, long time no talk. How have you been?
Paula, why are you texting me? What do you want?
Well, I had the day off today, and I was just wondering if you were home right now.
I am, yeah. But tell me why you're messaging me right now.
I was just wondering if you wanted to see me at all.
No, I don't. Besides, we're divorced, remember?
Right, well, it's kind of about that I actually want to talk to you, you see?
I don't really see what there's left to talk about regarding you and I. You left me for my brother, and that's that, isn't it? I saw that you two got married, so congrats, I guess. But you just leave me out of your lives, okay?
Why are you acting so coldly towards me right now? Please, I was lied to, and I'm feeling really, really awful enough already.
You mean that you were lied to by Mark?
Yes, that's right. He actually had no money at all. In fact, all he really had was a bunch of debt.
Wow. I guess it really was just as my mom said.
Hold on a second. You mean that you knew about all of this?
Well, when you said he was running his own business, I thought that something might have been up, if I'm being honest. So I decided to do some digging into him after we broke up.
What do you mean by that? What was up? What did you find?
Well, Mark actually took out a loan so that he could try to start up his own business. But he asked our parents to sign for the loan since he didn't have enough credit.
I think I remember hearing a little about this stuff.
But his mind always seemed to be more on ladies than it was on the business, and I heard his management style turned very sloppy, quickly. That's why my mom and I were talking about if you hadn't been tricked by him like so many others. When I was looking into Mark, I saw that he had taken out a second loan to try and invest in himself, but that he'd given up on his business afterwards.
So then, what does that mean?
I think it means that he was probably just scamming people. I mean, this is why you came to me to talk about this, right?
But why didn't you say anything to me about any of this? You could have stopped this.
I tried to warn you. I told you that I didn't think you should trust him, remember?
But that's all you told me. You didn't give me any reasons or details. If I'd known that he was in so much debt, I would never have left you for him. I thought he was some kind of rich venture capitalist or something.
Wow, well, that really sucks for you, doesn't it? You get what you put in, though, I suppose.
But I thought he was rich because he would spend so much money on me on dates. I thought that he was doing really well. I can't believe he fooled me like this.
I mean, you said yourself how charming of a guy he was. You do realize that that's a trait shared by a lot of con artists too, right?
I was such an idiot. I thought he was such a great guy, and he said that he would buy me whatever I wanted, but then he betrayed me. I'm so sorry for all of this. I never meant for any of this to happen.
Oh, that's fine. I'm pretty much over it.
So then, you mean that you forgive me for all that I did to you?
No. Definitely not. You are nothing to me now, and I want nothing to do with you, ever again.
But I want to try and make things right again. I want to get back with you.
You can't be serious about this, right?
Of course I'm serious. I need you, Terry.
You know, I never really knew just how low you might sink as a person until now. So, thanks for showing me who you really are. But now, I don't feel anything for you at all.
But You asked me not to get the divorce. You asked if there was any way that we could be together.
And then we got divorced anyways. Remember that part? I really did love you, and I really did want to try and fix things. But it's been months since then.
It's only been 4 months. Is that really so bad?
You have no idea how sad I was after you left me. And for my own brother, no less. It was then that I realized the kind of person that you really were, and knew that you leaving me was for the best.
So then, you really don't care about me at all anymore? I thought we could make this work.
The only thing you're going to have to figure out how to work is how to live in debt with my older brother. If you really think that I'm going to let you run back to me after your betrayal, you've got another thing coming. I don't feel bad for you at all.
What happened to you? You never used to be like this. You've gotten mean and angry. You're nothing like the sweet Terry that I fell in love with.
Because all it took was my older brother waving around a little bit of money for you to leave me for him. How could I ever forgive you for that?
But I'm sorry. I really am so sorry. Please, this is all wrong. I made a mistake. I realize that you're the most important person to me.
I'm glad you found that out for yourself, but it's far too late for me. My mind is made up. You're only coming back to me for my money, aren't you?
Please, I promise that I'll do anything you want. Whatever you need me to do so that you'll take me back, I'll do it.
But that's the thing. I don't want you back. At all. Why do you think I would step in to help you after all you've put me through? You need to get a grip.
Don't do this to me, Terry, please.
You are seriously too much sometimes. You left me for Mark because you thought he had money. And now that you realize he doesn't, you come running back to me? You are so transparent. Do you even realize that?
No, I just realized that you're the one I'm meant to be with, honest.
There you go, lying again. Well, it isn't going to work on me. Got it?
I'm telling the truth. Please, you have to believe me. I'm so sorry for everything. I was an idiot, but you have to forgive me.
How many times are you going to make me repeat myself? Nothing is going to change no matter how much you beg.
Terry, I'm begging you. You have to help me. Your brother asked me to invest in him, and I gladly took out a huge loan thinking that I'd make it all back and more. Now I have nothing.
Yeah, I already told you that he's a scam artist. You should have listened to me when you had the chance. But you fell for his charms, and now you're in serious trouble. Good luck finding your way out of it. After that, I blocked Paula's number. Although I have to say, I was surprised that she even messaged me in the first place. My mom guessed that she would though. But by the time that she did, I was well and over my divorce from Paula and never wanted to see her again. Meanwhile, she was having to face up to her bad financial decisions. She decided to stay with Mark, probably more out of desperation than anything else. But both my and her parents were furious at the couple, and no one offered to give them any help. Paula had to start working to try and pay down her debt, and the couple were soon at each other's throats every night. In the end, they split up and went to go live with their respective parents.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.
Maddie, can you tell your father to send more money? Maybe like $300 for Nicole, and tell him to make it quick.
You said you didn't have enough last month, too. Money for Nicole's child support is supposed to be fixed. He only sent the extra amount as courtesy last time. You need to manage within the fixed amount. I can't keep asking Dad.
Oh, Maddie, you sound more and more like your father. You don't have to be so harsh.
Well, it's hard not to be. Dad is sending money every month as agreed.
Surely you understand girls are expensive to raise. Your sister is so pretty, unlike you. So I want to make sure she's always dressed nicely. That can get costly, you know.
You think it's okay to say things like that to your own daughter?
Have I annoyed you? That makes us even then. If you act harsh to me, then I will to you too.
Since when have you started to care about what Nicole wears anyway? You always prioritized your own clothes over ours.
Your sister looks a lot like me, right? I mean, she could turn out differently as she grows older, but I'm sure she'll be gorgeous nonetheless. I'm planning for her to try out for the modeling agency.
Whatever. Anyway, if you need to talk to Dad about money, you can call him directly. He's the one paying, not me.
No way! He won't listen to me. He's too stubborn. He talks down to me and says I'm always wrong.
That's because you've lost his trust. You can't use me to get to him.
I still can't believe he divorced me when we were still raising Nicole. She hasn't even started middle school yet. I bet our absence is making him regret it though. Does he seem to miss us?
He misses Nicole. Not you, though.
How dry of him. He was so unemotional when he brought up the divorce too. What does he take me for?
You were cheating on him, Mom.
That's his own fault. You'll understand once you grow up. People have an affair because there's a problem in the house. If I was happy with him, I would not have cheated on him.
You're just making up excuses. You cheated, that's the truth.
Whatever. Maddie, you haven't told Nicole anything, have you?
About what?
Duh, the reason why her parents had a divorce.
Of course not. How could I tell her that you were having an affair? She's too young to understand what that even means.
Okay, good. I really don't want her to have an attitude like you.
I'm pretty sure any cheating mother's daughter would have an attitude like this. And plus, you know we never got along. So even if you didn't have an affair, I would have chosen to stay with Dad.
How did you become such a brat? Oh well, you're almost going on to college. I guess I shouldn't expect you to be a cutie anymore.
I bet Nicole will realize soon enough that you are not the person she wishes you were. And when she does, you can't stop her from wanting to live with us.
Fine. Anyway, just tell Dad about the money.
Huh? I said tell him directly.
I can't. Remember, this money's for Nicole. If you don't want your little sister to starve, get cracking.
Hey, Mom, I've been messaging Nicole today, but I can't get a hold of her. I assumed she'd be free today. Do you know what she's doing now?
Don't bother her.
Huh? What do you mean?
Nicole has not been keeping up with work lately. She never does her homework. And she has developed an attitude with me, so I've taken her smartphone away.
Is it true she doesn't do her homework?
Of course it's true. That's why I had to scold her.
She's always liked studying. Nicole would always get everything done as soon as she came back from school and made sure she never missed anything.
Maybe she started slacking off because I've been too easy on her.
It's hard to believe. Maybe something's going on?
Like what?
I don't know. Maybe something went on at school? Or she's concerned about something?
That's no excuse for not doing her homework. How did I let this happen? She's been so good all this time and now she's suddenly rebellious. Maddie, you better not have been saying things about me to her.
I have not. I have plenty to say about you, but not to her. I wouldn't do anything to hurt her feelings.
I hope that's true. Her attitude gets worse every time she sees you and your father. Are you sure you're not influencing her?
I'm sure. But she's probably realizing that it's more fun with me and Dad.
Are you saying I'm not good enough? How dare you say that to your mother? I have done everything to raise that girl right.
That's not what I meant. Sorry. You don't have to get so angry.
You don't understand because you're still a child. Being a single mom puts me in an extremely difficult position, and it wasn't my choice to become one. I wanted to continue to live with you too.
You did?
Of course I did. You're my daughter. We always end up fighting when we talk, but that doesn't mean I didn't want to stay with you.
Well, then you shouldn't have cheated on Dad.
Like I said before, one day you'll understand. Anyway, I have a favor to ask. Can you tell your dad that Nicole can't meet you guys next week because she's grounded?
What? No. Dad and I have been looking forward to seeing Nicole. We have plans.
Just tell him, please. Now is not a good time for her to see you two. She needs to be disciplined. I promise you two will get to see her once she's sorry.
But...
Come on, Maddie. You know I'm doing this to teach her a lesson. I know I've made bad decisions in the past, but I just want to raise Nicole right.
Fine. I'll tell him, but I don't know what he'll say about this.
Thank you. I'm sure he'll understand. He always listens to you.
Don't be so hard on Nicole, please. She needs her smartphone to keep in touch with us. And her attitude is just a phase, I'm sure.
I know. I'll make sure to have a constructive conversation with her. Say hi to your dad for me. And Maddie, you can talk to me anytime, you know that, right? We may not be together, but I'll always be your mom.
Maddie, are you awake?
Someone's up early. You got your phone back?
No, I haven't got it back. I just found where Mom hides it.
Sneaky but smart, like me. Don't let Mom find out, though. If she realizes you've been messaging me behind her back, she'd be furious.
I'm sure she won't. She's still asleep.
I see. So then, we can't speak on the phone?
No, not now.
You doing your homework these days?
Of course I am.
Oh, then Mom should give you your phone back already. Maybe she will if you apologize to her. You don't really have to mean it, you know?
I've done nothing wrong.
I know. Mom can be really difficult. You don't know when she'll start yelling. I know you're a good girl, Nicole.
Maddie, I have a question.
Shoot.
Could I get a part-time job?
What? No, you're too young to get a job. Why are you asking me this? Are you interested in some job?
I want to work so I can buy food. Is there some way I can make money?
Food? Money will get you food, but Mom cooks for you every day, doesn't she?
No, she doesn't.
Huh?
I buy my own food, like bread or something. I eat those instant soups sometimes too.
You buy them? At the store?
Yeah.
I didn't know Mom didn't cook for you. But she gives you the money to buy them, right? Is it not enough?
She only gives me money when she feels like it. She says I should be okay because I have a small stomach.
What? You must be so hungry.
Yeah. My stomach is always growling at school, so it's embarrassing.
Hold on. Nicole, how much longer will you have your phone? What time do you think Mom will wake up?
She probably won't until the afternoon. She just came home a little while ago.
A little while ago? It's 6 in the morning. Did she start another job at a bar or something?
Mom doesn't work at all. She told me to tell you and Dad that she does, though.
Okay, you know what? Nicole, we're on our way to get you. You need to pack your things without waking Mom.
Why?
Because she's not taking good care of you. You shouldn't be there. Dad is gonna be so angry when he finds out. I'm gonna wake him now and head over. Can you open the door for us when we arrive?
You mean it's okay for me to live with you?
Of course it is. Why wouldn't it be?
Mom told me you and Dad didn't want me.
What? That is a lie, Nicole. Mom took you from us. Both Dad and I have always wanted to live with you.
Maddie, please help me. I don't want to be with Mom anymore.
I know, sweetheart. Don't worry, we're on our way. Hang tight. Wait quietly so Mom doesn't notice. You're coming with us.
Hey Maddie, have you heard from Nicole?
Why?
I was busy with something and the next thing I know she's not home. Maybe I have been too hard on her. She was never the type to just run off.
When did she leave the house?
Well, I'm not sure.
Why? Today's Sunday. You don't have work on Sunday.
I did today. My coworker couldn't come into work because her kid got sick. So I filled her spot. You know, that could happen to us too. So I said, why not?
Huh, interesting. Because I saw you sleeping in your bed, snoring this morning. And I could also smell alcohol from outside your bedroom door.
Huh? Were you inside my house?
Yep.
Did you take Nicole without telling me? You broke into my house? I have Nicole's custody. If you take her without my permission, that's abduction. I'm going to call the police.
Wow, what a reaction. I didn't know it was such a bad thing to want to see my little sister.
You have a lot of days for that.
Which you keep canceling. And what is that house? It's full of trash. I can't believe you've made Nicole live in that dump.
I haven't cleaned the house in a few days because I was busy. It's not usually like this.
Really? Because it didn't look like a few days to me. And the smell was horrible.
Just give me Nicole back.
No, she's staying with us from now on.
That is not acceptable. You can't just decide. Don't be so stupid, Maddie. I'm seriously going to call the police.
Go ahead. They would probably arrest you instead.
What? Why me?
Why? You hardly ever give her food. Oh, and what was the reason? Because she has a small stomach? You are unbelievable. I thought you cared about Nicole. After all, she was just a tool to get money from Dad, wasn't she?
What are you talking about? I do care about Nicole.
How do you want me to believe that? We've already spoken to Nicole's teachers and other parents to gather information. They said Nicole would wear the same clothes for days and seemed like she only bathed once in a while.
Well, sometimes I'm busy and I can't do everything perfectly. I'm trying. How could you be so mean to me? I love her. I really do.
Nice try. You think I would feel sorry for you? You can't manipulate me.
I'm not trying to manipulate you. I'm speaking from my heart.
You have made a huge mistake, Mom. Cheating on Dad was one, but I know relationships can be tricky. And as much as this might hurt Dad, I get that it happens. But not this, Mom. You have neglected your daughter. This is the worst thing you can do.
I have not neglected her.
You don't give her enough food. You sometimes give her a couple of bucks she uses to buy herself some bread for days. She would wash her hair with cold water because she didn't know how to turn the boiler on. She'd be lucky if you ever washed her dirty clothes. You don't call this neglect?
Nicole is lying. You're naive, Maddie. No adult would believe her.
Both Dad and I trust her words. And she is not as immature as you think. She totally understands that there's something wrong with you.
I don't have enough money, okay? I'm doing my best. She's not dead, is she? She's growing without an issue.
You think everything is cool if she's not dead? We know you eat whatever you want. There's plenty of proof in your trash. Fries, burgers, Chinese takeout, you name it. Did you share any with Nicole? Of course you didn't. You're allowed to spend money on all that, but not Nicole? What kind of a mother are you?
I work. I need to eat to work.
Don't lie to me. You think I don't know by now that you don't work? I called the shop you said you were working at. They said they don't know you.
They're just taking precautions. You know, they can't give out personal information nowadays.
Ugh, why am I wasting any time talking to you? We'll find out the details of your neglect soon enough.
What do you mean?
We've reported this to the authority already. They know our situation, so it's quite useless to call the police.
What? You did not.
Yep, done while you were asleep. So you've been reported before, huh? We heard that some caring person from our school had made the call. The conversation with the agent at the Child Protection Center was rather smooth. He knew exactly who you were. I bet Dad will be getting Nicole's custody back real soon.
Maddie, wait! How could you report me? You're making me look terrible.
You are terrible, Mom. The agent agreed to investigate this matter. We should know how to proceed in a couple days. I assure you that no matter what happens next, though, Nicole is never going back to you. Ever.
You know, honey, I think we should really talk this through. I would like to talk to your dad about what to do with Nicole. It'll be too confusing with the authority in the middle. And I'm sure it's too much for Nicole to be dragged into an investigation. She would have to answer so many questions.
Oh, she doesn't mind. She said she would answer any question if that means she can live with us.
Maddie, please, let me just talk to your father. You have to tell him I'm sorry about everything.
No way. Leave him alone. You put him through enough already. You are the worst. None of us ever want to see you again.
Maddie, listen to me, please. I'm begging you. Just give me one more chance and I will never treat Nicole badly again. You have to tell your dad I'm apologizing.
Nothing will ever change with you. I don't consider you my mother anymore. I don't accept anyone that neglects their child as a parent. I will never forgive you for starving Nicole while you used up Dad's money. Goodbye, you old hag. Don't you ever show up in front of us again. The authority took away Nicole's custody from my mother after the investigation. My dad was able to win her back quickly after, and the three of us live together now. The police did not have the grounds to keep her, so she was let go. As horrible as her actions were, my mother was not violent to Nicole, so it was difficult for the police to make a formal arrest. My sister had lost a lot of weight, but she was okay overall. Nicole is relieved and satisfied to be reunited with me and my father. Through the investigation, it became clear my mother used Nicole's child support money for herself. My father had agreed to provide plenty for Nicole at the time of the divorce, so my mother took advantage of it. Instead of working, she used the money for gambling and drinking and never took care of my sister. I have no idea what happened to her after our conversation. But it's been rumored that she disappeared from the house she was living with Nicole. She probably ran away, not being able to pay rent. Although, she doesn't have anywhere or anyone to turn to. My grandparents are very angry with her too, so she can't ask her parents for help. Her friends know what she's done too, and they were all very shocked. If she ever turns up in front of us, we would never accept or help her neither. Instead, my dad will ask her to pay for Nicole's child support, which she has not paid once since she lost the custody. But it's best if she doesn't show, because none of us really want to see her face. I hope she continues to be invisible to us and die somewhere someday without any clue. Anyway, my dad and I are so happy Nicole is back with us. Our house is cheerful and full of laughter every day. We're relieved that Nicole got herself back too. She's outgoing and fun as ever. I feel very proud to be supporting my dad and sister. I know I'm still young and that there isn't much I can do for them, but I will continue to strive to be a better person for them.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.
Hi, Bessie. I'm really sorry I missed your call. I was at my new part-time job. Did you want something? Your new part-time job? Since when? I haven't heard anything about you working. Yeah, I started working from mornings until about this time during the week. Why? I'm surprised. This is all very sudden. Is this a roundabout way of trying to say my son's salary is too low? Huh? No, not at all. Then why in God's name have you started working part-time? Because the world's an unstable place these days and you never know what curveball life's gonna throw at you next. Kevin and I decided together it'd be best for me to work part-time so we can finally start saving properly. We were living from paycheck to paycheck before. Hannah's getting big now and her food bill's growing in proportion. Getting big? Oh, give me a break. She's 10 years old. She'll be 11 soon, though. Besides, I can easily make it home after work before she gets off school, so it's not like it has any effect on her. Plus, now we can afford to treat her to nice things more often. School this, treats that. Oh, you think you're so clever, don't you? You've got an answer for everything. You've always had a knack for answering me back. Sorry, I really wasn't trying to answer you back. I just want you to understand that me working isn't a bad thing. Didn't I tell you before? Hannah's a very clever little girl, which means you need to be there to support her as much as possible. She needs more attention than most children. Right, you did. You can't seriously claim you're keeping on top of the housework and looking after Hannah properly while going out to work 5 days a week. She has her entrance exams for that special school for gifted children coming up soon, you know. Do you really think this is the time to be playing Little Miss Independent in an office somewhere? You should be at home with your family. We don't know whether she's actually taking the exams yet. She's been taking private tutoring in the evenings, but she hasn't decided whether she's going to be taking the exams. Of course, we'd love it if she got into a school for gifted kids, but at the same time, it would be a lot of pressure. No wonder she doesn't know if she wants to take the exams if this is how you talk about them. She has no hope of passing with this lukewarm, half-assed attitude. You call this parenting? It's a dog-eat-dog world, Maria. All the other kids are working their damn butts off to ace these exams. Do you really think Hannah has the time to be dilly-dallying and navel-gazing? It's a mother's job to motivate their child. Kevin and I are putting what Hannah wants first. Listen, young lady, and listen good. My Kevin studied his ass off in high school to get into Peepston University, one of the most prestigious colleges in America. Do you think he'd be working at a major global company now if not for my forceful encouragement? Need I remind you that the only reason you're able to live a life of such luxury and comfort is because my Kevin pushed himself and endured a lot of difficult times? I don't need to be told how the world works by some wet-behind-the-ears gold digger with no education who married my son by sheer fluke. I hope you don't intend to raise Hannah to be like you, thinking she can live independently without relying on a man. My granddaughter will not be going down the same path as you. Please stop talking to me like that. The only reason I'm being a little forceful with regards to matters in the home, dear, is because you're clearly only good for being a housewife. If you were capable of making more than my son, then I might make an exception. But your educational history and general attitude make it plain as day you'd never have what it takes to succeed in the business world. You've got some nerve working a part-time job as a high school dropout. You're just using this as a tool to get out of doing the housework and looking after Hannah, aren't you? I'm really not. You tell me, Maria, stay-at-home housewife or part-time housewife? Which one do you think has more time to devote to the home? Well, I think it's pretty obvious that a stay-at-home housewife would spend more time at home. Point proven! So you are just doing this to avoid the housework. Oh my God. Wait a minute. You couldn't be... Could you? Is this all part of some scheme to find a new man? Huh? What? You hear about it all the time, cheating housewives. I'd never do that. Oh, would you look at that? Why so defensive, dear? I was obviously just kidding. I'd prefer if you didn't say stuff like that, even as a joke. Enough of this nonsense. The bottom line is that you're clearly not intelligent enough to be trusted to make your own life decisions, so you will do as I say. Thankfully, Hannah takes after her father and not you, but please, stop standing in the way of her chances of success with your unparalleled selfishness. Don't worry, dear, I know you'd struggle on your own, so I'm going to help you manage all aspects of your life. You name it, whatever it is, I'll be here with advice to put you on the right track. Cooking, exercising, gardening. Obviously, study would be wasted on someone with a brain as tiny as yours, so we'll skip that one. I'm not going to respond to your blatant insults because I know it wouldn't lead anywhere positive. But I want you to know that Hannah's happiness and success are my #1 priorities in life. I chose my new job very carefully, and my boss was kind enough to make some compromises so me working wouldn't have a knock-on effect on things at home, so please, you don't need to worry about anything. That's nice, dear. Unfortunately, I don't trust you enough to take your word on that. I thought maybe you'd start growing on me one day when we met for the first time 10 years ago, but if anything, I dislike you even more now. It still makes me uncomfortable to think of you as my son's wife. I've never thought of you as family, not even for a second. Maria, are you there? What's all this I'm hearing about Hannah spraining her finger? Yes, it's true, but you don't have to worry. It's not serious and it won't have any impact on her day-to-day life. Can she still grip a pen? It was one of the fingers on her right hand, wasn't it? She has it taped now, so it might be a little difficult for her to hold a pen right now. What? How the heck is she supposed to study if she can't even hold a pen? You're not fit to be a mother. I've got half a mind to report you to Child Protective Services. It's terrifying how relaxed you seem to be about all this. What is wrong with you? That's not true at all. Believe me, I wish this never happened. It's your fault that poor girl sprained her finger, Maria. Huh? How? I know you made her take ballet lessons. Why in the devil's name would you make her do anything not related to study? I heard she hurt herself dancing in a ballet class that had absolutely nothing to do with her studies or exams. This is what happens when you make moronic decisions without consulting me first. I didn't make her do anything, Bessie. She told me she wanted to sign up for ballet class, so I let her. Why would she be interested in ballet? I can't think of a more mind-numbingly boring activity than watching a bunch of kids prance around like fairies. That time could be better spent studying. I don't think it's boring. Apparently she wanted to give it a try after one of her favorite comic books did a ballet-themed story. She said she wanted to go to the sports hall to find out what it was really like. Comic books? You're letting her read comic books now?
Yes, she really loves them. She said coming home from school and reading her comic books is her favorite part of the day.
If she has time to be reading such drivel, then you should be making her study more. Goodness gracious me. Comic books, I mean, really. No wonder the world's going to the dogs if this is how kids are spending their time these days. Stop encouraging her to be interested in useless things.
I don't think they're useless, actually. They make Hannah happy, and when she's happy, she feels more motivated to do the other, less fun things in her life. Not only that, but through comic books, she learns all about people's feelings and life experiences. When you think about it, comic books really aren't so different to novels. They provide rich emotional experiences brimming with poetic sentiments, epic portrayals of scenarios, deftly concocting unique elements to construct unique worlds that stimulate the imagination in ways that few other mediums can.
Make her read novels instead, then. Anyway, do you seriously think there's any point in having her do sports after all this time? She'll never become a first-rate athlete now. She's past her prime. Olympians are scouted at 3 years old these days. Why set her up for failure? Tell her to give up and get back to her studies right now.
Jesus, Bessie, since when are we discussing her becoming an Olympic athlete? I don't think she's that interested. She just wanted to try it out. Jeez.
All the more reason to make her quit before she wastes any more time. Oh, and that reminds me. I asked her what she wants for her birthday this year. Do you know what she said? One thing's for sure, I knew the moment she told me how horrendous your parenting skills are.
What did she say she wants?
A skateboard. What normal elementary school girl wants a skateboard? I can admit, for the sake of argument, it might not be that weird if she was a boy, but a girl on a skateboard? I almost fainted when she told me. Wait a second. You're not letting her hang out with the wrong crowds, are you? There better not be poor children in her friend group.
Is it really that strange that she wants a skateboard? It seems pretty normal to me.
You have got to be joking me. Go on. This is some kind of wind-up trick, isn't it? No one in their right mind could say that with a straight face. Oh, that reminds me. Your neighborhood's full of low-income families and criminals, isn't it? I can't believe my poor granddaughter's growing up in a slum packed with drifters, hobos, and high school dropouts. You seem to be forgetting that your normal and my normal are completely different things.
Would you please stop this? I'd really appreciate if you didn't insult my hometown.
All I'm doing is telling the truth, dear. What, am I supposed to pretend it's full of decent, respectable folk to protect your precious feelings? If Hannah goes off the rails, it's all going to be your fault. I hope you know that. You know, it's bad enough that she has your blood flowing through her veins. It's a miracle she didn't come out retarded. The last thing we need is you corrupting her with your 20 IQ parenting techniques. Oh, and that reminds me, don't bother coming to the wedding. You'll only embarrass us.
What? Do you mean Amy's wedding? Kevin's cousin?
Yes, of course I do. No one else we know is getting married soon, are they, moron? We'll be taking group pictures as a family, which means things will be tremendously awkward if you're there. You know how the saying goes, right? It only takes one rotten apple to spoil the bunch. Stay at home where your revolting poor person aura can't ruin anyone's day. Don't worry about what people might say. I've already started spreading the word that you won't be attending. I told Hannah yesterday, so she won't be surprised when you're not there.
Right, I see.
Next time, don't bother stressing me out by forcing me to go out of my way to cancel you. Here, let me make it simple. Never show your face at any family events ever again, you pathetic disgrace of a woman. If you do anything else to Hannah from here on out, I'll be taking custody of her and bringing her up myself. Do I make myself clear? Kevin might try and stop me, but I won't have it. This is my granddaughter's future we're talking about, and I will not risk her becoming a failure like you. I suggest you turn that peanut in between your ears up to full capacity and start thinking about how you're going to properly educate her. Maria, I heard about Hannah. That's my girl, isn't she just amazing? I heard she bagged herself first prize at the county literature contest. Yep, she sure did. They're even holding an awards ceremony next week. Woohoo! Hallelujah! Praise the Lord! I'll be there. I wouldn't miss it for the world. I always knew Hannah had literary talent. I noticed that whenever we speak over Peep's Messenger, her messages are always so simple and easy to read. They sure are. You know, it's funny, I always said she was like her dad. But the older she gets, the more I realize she's actually like I was in my younger days. Back when I was kicking ass and taking names in male-dominated workspaces. Clever and quick-thinking, determined and perspicacious, ruthless and tenacious, diligent, humble. Ah, you know, remembering the good old days like this almost brings a tear to my eye. Anyway, what were we talking about? Oh, yes, Hannah, right. I just know it. One day she's going to be a star with her name in shining lights. All that matters to me is that she grows up healthy and happy. There you go, talking utter crap again. I do wish you'd stop this, dear. You wouldn't happen to be a toxic parent, would you, Maria? You do know what one of those is, don't you? Excuse me? Go on, admit it. I know the thought of your daughter being more accomplished than you at the age of 8 fills you with overwhelming feelings of terror and insecurity. That's why you're trying to drag her down. Crabs in a bucket isn't supposed to apply to your own daughter, you petty-minded saboteur. Am I wrong? Something tells me I'm not. Yes, you're wrong. Of course you are. Hannah winning the County Literature Prize makes me more happy than I can put into words. I couldn't be more proud of how diligently she studies and how hard she works. But more than study or winning prizes, I want to let her focus on what makes her happy. I'll accept her whether she wins or loses. You'll accept her if she loses? Good grief. I feel more disgusted with you every time you speak. Are you done droning on yet? Thank you for making it clear what a supreme, irredeemable moron you really are. The more you talk, the more you strengthen my conviction that you're not a good fit for this family. Sorry, but to a mother, a child's happiness is the #1 priority. And you think I don't care if she's happy? It's precisely because I want her to be happy that I'm trying to encourage her to study. But unlike you, I want her to learn the skills that will make her happy for life. She should be at least focused on her studies until she's an adult. She can start having fun once she enters the grown-up world. Really? I could have sworn it was meant to be the other way around. Yes, really. However, there are exceptions in cases where a child achieves something truly magnificent. Then you should treat them to the most astounding first-class luxury to show them what's possible if they work hard. I think we should take her on a family vacation to reward her for winning first prize. A family vacation? I guess it's been a long time since we all went somewhere as a family. The pandemic restrictions really made it hard to leave the house, let alone go on vacation. Right, but things are finally easing up on that front, and with that and Hannah winning her prize, I can't think of better timing. I want to take her to my favorite holiday resort. It's more luxurious than you could imagine, and I mean that literally in your case. A high school dropout like yourself wouldn't be able to imagine how lavish this place is. You're right, I probably wouldn't. I never got to go on vacation much growing up, but thanks, Bessie. Hannah's gonna be over the moon when she finds out. Don't get the wrong idea, though. You are not coming with us on this vacation. My son and granddaughter are my only family. And this is a family vacation. Fine, I get it. Oh, you do? Fantastic. Maybe you do have a brain cell in there after all. You'd stick out like a sore thumb in this resort anyway. Decent, respectable folk of the kind who stay there can sniff out high school dropouts like you in seconds.
What's going on? Why won't you let Mom come on vacation with us? Why are you being so mean to her, Grandma?
Huh? What are you talking about, Maria? What has gotten into you all of a sudden?
It's Hannah.
Hannah? No way. Oh my God, is that really Hannah?
Yes? We can do a video call if you don't believe me.
It's fine, darling, I believe you. I know it might have looked like I was being mean to your mom, but I want you to know that I wasn't. It's just that your mom isn't related to me or your dad by blood, you see, sweetie. That's why she can't come on vacation with us.
But I'm related to her.
Maybe so, but do you understand that me and her are strangers? That means she's not family.
Oh yeah? Then how do you explain my friend Jessica? She's not even related by blood to her dad, but they're still family. Even Mr. Fisher, my science teacher, said so. That you don't have to be related by blood to be family.
Yes, but he didn't mean real family. If he did, he was probably just trying to look cool in front of everyone. Honestly, sweetie, I think it's time you stopped being friends with Jessica. Having people like that in your life never ends well.
Why should I stop hanging out with her? She's my friend.
Well, you see, Hannah, it sounds like you and her aren't a very good match.
Yes, we are. She's my best friend. Okay, here's a question for you. Are you and my grandpa who died family?
Well, yes, of course we are. It's precisely because we're family that your father was born.
But you and him weren't related by blood. That means he's not your family.
That's not quite how it works, sweetie. Things are different when you get married.
Nothing you're saying is making any sense. To me, it just looks like you're being mean to Mom for no reason. There's a word for what you're doing. Bullying.
Bullying? No, I'm not bullying anyone. Listen, darling, your mother said she didn't want to come with us on vacation. That's the real reason she won't be joining us.
I can read, you know. I saw all the things you said to her. Stop treating me like an idiot.
I'm not treating you like an idiot at all. I think you're a genius, Hannah. Kids as smart as you are few and far between, but sometimes you just have to accept that your grandmother knows best.
I know I'm not wrong. I'm not, am I? Go on, say it. That's not all. I know all the other stuff you've been doing to Mom. Like how you make her eat cold leftovers while everyone else eats freshly cooked food when we go over to your house. Dad didn't notice, but I did. I always wondered why you were doing it. You make her eat dried up food to make her feel bad, don't you? Admit it.
No, dear. It's not like that at all. My eyes aren't as good as they used to be. I probably just made a mistake. Of course I want your mom to eat my delicious home-cooked meals.
Liar. I do lunch duty at school, so I know. I know that if you were feeding everyone from the same pot, there's no way it'd go all dried up and crusty like that.
Listen, Hannah, if it ever seemed like I was being mean to your mom, it was only because I wanted her to be a better mother to you. I was never trying to be mean or bully her.
She already is a good mom, the best mom in the world. I would never have won that prize for the literature contest at school if not for her.
Your mom helped you win that? How? Surely that was because of your own hard work.
Mom's been reading books every day since she was a little girl. She reads regular books, novels, manga, anything you can think of. She knows so much stuff and she always teaches me interesting things. I would have never been able to write my story if not for her helping me.
Wow, really? I had no idea.
That's why I got into reading books and started writing myself. My mom's amazing. She can do anything. She's the smartest person I know. So you better stop being mean to her.
Okay, Hannah, I'll stop, I promise. I'm really sorry I was mean to your mom. I swear I'll never do anything like that again.
I'm not the one you should be apologizing to. Mom is. But you know what? I never want to see you again. You're a big mean bully and I hate you. Bye.
Hannah, no! Wait, please! I'll say sorry to your mom. Please, just give me one more chance. I'm begging you.
Hannah's not reading your messages anymore.
Maria?
Yes, Maria.
You have to set Hannah straight. Tell her the truth. Explain to her that I wasn't bullying you.
Why would I do that? Are you telling me to lie to my own daughter? Anyway, she already knows the truth.
Lie? No, it's not like that. Is there really any need to drag an 8-year-old child into our business? You're right, there isn't. I couldn't agree more. I don't see any need to go out of my way to explain this ridiculous situation to her either. Which is why I made a point of never saying anything bad about you in front of her. Even still, she knows. Children aren't stupid, and especially not Hannah. It doesn't take a genius to realize how differently you were treating me to her dad. Liar! You say you've made a point of never bad-mouthing me in front of her, but you showed her our goddamn chat logs. Nope, she stumbled on those by accident. But my mind is made up and my will is firm. I worked so hard to try and win your approval and have you accept me as a member of this family, but I'm done. I am so done. I don't want anything to do with you from now on. I'm terminating our relationship. Forever. Don't say things like that. All I did was give advice. Everything I said with yours and Hannah's best interests at heart, I swear. Perhaps sometimes my words seemed a little cold, but you know what they say. Sometimes you have to be cruel to be kind. I see. So insulting me for being a dumb high school dropout and banning me from all family events counts as advice now, does it? It's actually really impressive, Bessie. You know all these definitions for words that I never knew existed. You're a genius. I see. Fine. I'll apologize. I'm sorry, okay? I promise I'll never be mean to you again. Can we all be friends again and put this silly drama behind us now? Go on. Go and set Hannah straight. I don't want to hear any more of this nonsense about never seeing her again. You really are something special, huh? Even while apologizing, you can't resist barking orders at me, can you? Kevin's with us on this one, by the way. He says having you in our lives is too stressful and he can't take it anymore. It's not just me and Hannah who never want to see you again. None of us do. What? No! I didn't feel like causing a big drama when I was the only one being affected by your toxic behavior, but Hannah knows now, which obviously means she told her dad, too. There's no reason for me to carry on putting up with you anymore now that the cat's out of the bag. No, wait. Hold on for 1 second, young lady. I just apologized, and this is how you act? Hannah is my only granddaughter. You can't do this. You can't kick me out of my own family. You can't. You can't. How am I supposed to live on my own? Not my problem. How about looking in the mirror and asking yourself how you're so rotten to the core that you were able to continue bullying me for 10 whole years? You had endless chances to make this right. Maria, please, I'm so sorry. I mean it, I've never been this sorry about anything in my life. Listen, Maria, if you want to know the truth, it's not that I don't think of you as a member of this family, because I did the whole time. It's just that I was too stubborn and prideful to admit it to myself. But this has been the wake-up call I sorely needed. I can see it now, how horrible I've been, how much unnecessary pain and torment I've put you through. I'm ready. I'm finally ready to change my ways. It's time to turn a new leaf. Get ready to see the new Bessie. I'm fine, thanks. I'd rather not meet her. You know, it's funny. I think a part of me tolerated it because I had this impression that, oh, it's fine, that's just how people are when they get old. But I realize now that that was just a baseless rationalization I came up with to avoid conflict. In that sense, I wasn't being honest with myself either. But I can see things clearly now. Anyway, I'm done speaking to you. I hope you spend the rest of your retirement in soul-crushing loneliness and isolation. Maria, please forgive me. I'll stop bullying you, I promise. That means forever. I'll treat you like royalty from now on. If I ever do anything to annoy or upset you, or if I behave inappropriately in any way, I want you to tell me straight away. And I'll do everything in my power to improve. I'll treat you like my very own daughter. It's cool. I'm good, thanks. Hannah already called you out on your inappropriate behavior, so there's nothing left for me to say. Feel free to carry on being your old rotten self. Treat me like your own daughter? Yuck. I'd have to be insane to want a mom like you. With that, all relations with the mother-in-law from hell were terminated. When I reflect on her 10-year-long campaign of abuse, I realize that I should have gotten rid of her a long, long time ago. But when I was younger, a big part of me wanted to win her approval. And I thought that if I could just show her how hard I was willing to work to do that, she'd accept me one day. I also found it difficult to find the resolve to break ties because of what a good grandma she was to Hannah, which meant for a long time the don't rock the boat side of me won out. Ultimately, it wasn't me who changed things, but my amazing, brave, clever daughter, Hannah. I would never have imagined in a million years that she'd give her grandma what for like that. And my jaw almost hit the floor when I read her messages. But I'm grateful and proud in equal measure for her giving me the opportunity I'd been waiting for. Not long after I said my goodbyes, Kevin got a bunch of messages from his mom desperately pleading for forgiveness and apologizing profusely. Why did she do it through Kevin, you ask? Because me and Hannah blocked her immediately. Unfortunately for Bessie, Kevin was sick and tired of her, and he vented his disgust to her in a very spicy, expletive-laden message. He's been ignoring her ever since. It turns out she wasn't only horrible to me directly. She'd been going around spreading vicious lies and bad-mouthing me behind my back, too. Eventually, none of her friends or relatives wanted anything to do with her either. She's totally alone in the world now. What can I say? What goes around comes around. It must have all come as quite a shock to her because I heard from one of her neighbors, who also happens to be my friend, that every time he walks past her house, he sees her crying hysterically, alone in her armchair. Do I feel sympathy? Not an ounce. She brought this on herself. I never want to see her again for as long as I live, but if Hannah ever changes her mind and wants to meet her grandma again, I won't try and stop her. I have no idea how long she'll be angry with Bessie or whether she'll ever decide to forgive her at all, but in any case, I hope she continues wallowing in the pain of regret over how she treated me. Who knows? Maybe this could be an opportunity for her to reflect on her behavior and become a better person. Life without the stress of being bullied by my mother-in-law is great, and me, Kevin, and Hannah are having a blast. I feel blessed to have such an amazing family, and I count my lucky stars every day. They're my number one priority now, and I'm determined to work as hard as I can to make them happy and give them both the lives they deserve.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.
Megan, is it true? What's all this I'm hearing about you stopping your IVF treatment? Rodney just told me. Hey, Betty, how have you been? Yep, the IVF thing is exactly like Rodney told you. We've decided to stop having the treatment. Why? You've been having treatment ever since you got married. Why would you want to give up after all this time? Do you not want children? We've been having treatment for years now, but we haven't made an inch of progress. All it's doing is draining us physically, mentally, and financially. It doesn't come cheap, and we just decided it wasn't worth the toll it was taking on us. Which is why, after a lengthy discussion, we decided to stop. But believe me, Betty, this isn't a decision that we took lightly, and it hasn't been easy for either of us. All that may be so, but still. Do you realize that if you stop now, you might never get another chance? You're both already in your late 30s. The clock's ticking, Megan. You can't get pregnant forever. It might be difficult now, but it'll be downright impossible if you leave it too long. How do you think you'll feel then, knowing if you carried on with the treatment, there might have been a chance? I know that. Trust me, Betty, we've already been over everything you're saying more times than you know. But we decided this is for the best. Well, I won't go along with it. I simply will not. If you don't have kids, my son will be the last generation of this family. Are you trying to exterminate my bloodline? Exterminate your bloodline? Jesus, Betty, where the hell did that come from? I didn't have a toothbrush mustache the last time I checked. But being serious, we plan on looking into other alternatives. Having kids yourself isn't the only way, you know. There's always adoption or fostering. No. That's simply no good. It's a wife's job to bear children. Look, Betty, I understand how you feel. You're my mom-in-law and you want grandkids. I get it. I really do. And it's not like we didn't try. We tried so hard, but my body seems totally unwilling to work with us, and there's only so much stress we can take. I'm begging you, please, will you try to understand? This isn't easy for us either, you know?
No way, it's too early to give up. At least carry on with the treatment for another year.
But we've been doing it for years and years by this point. We can't take any more. A year's worth of treatment is expensive. To be honest with you, it just feels like we are throwing our money down the drain. We want to start putting it to better use on other things.
Other things, such as?
Well, for starters, if we do end up adopting or fostering, it's going to cost us a lot, so we'd like to put most of the money towards that.
Just wait a second. How could you be so selfish? I can't believe what I'm hearing. Why does this conversation seem to be going forward on the assumption that you have my approval to adopt? Let me make one thing crystal clear, Missy. You do not. How can you even call yourself a woman if you're incapable of having children?
I'd appreciate it if you didn't say stuff like that. I can still become a mother without having kids of my own. Besides, you speak as if a woman's only value is her womb. I don't mean to be rude, but this isn't the Bronze Age.
Don't get cheeky with me, young lady. I'm airing a legitimate grievance with your irresponsible decision, and you will take me seriously. You should know that I'll no longer acknowledge you as my daughter-in-law if you go through with this. If you can't have kids, there's no reason to keep you around. And we don't need you in this house for a second longer. Divorce my son immediately.
Wow, are you joking? We're not getting a divorce. Why would we do that?
Because you decided not to have children. Why wouldn't you divorce? Step aside gracefully so someone more capable can take your place. My son should be married to a woman who can bear children, not a barren wasteland like you. You're damaged goods.
And you're more horrible than I thought. Me and Rodney love each other whether we can have kids or not. Me and him agreed to stop the IVF treatment together.
Knowing my Rodney, he's probably just pretending to go along with it because he's kind. Deep down, he wants kids more than anything. It must be so difficult for him to hide his disappointment with you, my poor son. You probably make him feel awkward about talking about how he really feels, or like he'll get shouted at if he tells the truth. How could you make him tolerate such an awful situation? You're the worst wife of all time.
Did Rodney say that to you? He didn't, did he? He's not pretending to go along with anything. How about you stop dictating at me about how you think things must be based on your own warped assumptions about the world and accept what I'm telling you at face value?
How dare you speak to me like that, you insolent little upstart? I'm your husband's mother. I know my son better than anyone else in the world.
We're not getting a divorce, and that's final. This is mine and Rodney's problem, so whether it's the kids or the treatment that may or may not enable us to have kids, it's for me and Rodney to decide on our own. Rodney told me you and him had a little chat last night?
Yes, we spoke. What of it?
Do you understand now? Because you were vehemently opposed to the idea of us stopping treatment when I told you yesterday.
Rodney told me you both made your decision after a lengthy discussion.
Right, and he made it clear it was his decision as much as it was mine, didn't he?
He didn't say that. He also told me he has no intention of divorcing you.
Okay, so do you finally accept it now? There's no doubt about it, we're broken up about the fact that we won't be able to have kids of our own, but having kids isn't everything to us. Just because we can't have children doesn't mean that we're going to divorce. We mean more to each other than that, and there's more to life than just having kids.
Don't worry, Megan, I understand perfectly. You've got my son wrapped around your little finger, and he's no longer capable of independent thought.
Excuse me? Wrapped around my little finger? What's that supposed to mean? You know, I couldn't get my head around it when you told me. It just didn't make any sense. What man in their right mind would be okay with his wife not being able to give him children? That's simply not how the world works. When you get down to brass tacks, the ultimate purpose of a married couple is to produce children. Why do you think marriage exists in the first place? Maybe in your world, but not everyone thinks like that. Least of all, me and Rodney. This isn't my world. This is common sense, you cheeky little madam. Common sense? Common among you and your friends from the bingo hall, maybe. Sure, there are a lot of older folk who still think that way, but it's 2023 now, and the world is changing. You're wrong if you think that's how most people think. I mean, come on, Betty, there are tons of couples out there who've been together decades with no kids. It's pretty obvious that not everyone agrees with your worldview. You're wrong. I've never seen anyone be this wrong about something before. It's embarrassing. Would you please just calm down? Rodney himself just explained the situation to you. He told you this is what he wants. What more can we even say to you at this point? You've brainwashed him with your devious wiles. That's the only possible explanation for him speaking such nonsense. It has to be. It has to be. You still don't get it. I could forgive you being misunderstood before he set you straight, but I can't give you the benefit of the doubt anymore. This is beyond ridiculous. Just accept what we're telling you and let's be done with this fiasco already. You shut your insolent mouth. My son would never agree to something like that if he's had his head screwed on properly. He's been brainwashed. I should never have agreed to let you marry him. I have to save my son from your evil clutches. By that, I take it you mean you want to cause him a bunch of unnecessary stress by trying to convince him to divorce me? Do you have any idea how upset he'll be if you carry on acting like such an obstinate blockhead? We've been through enough lately, Betty. The last thing we need is you bothering us with your absurd demands. You've got some nerve to claim to care about my Rodney being upset, when you've manipulated him into being your subservient little yes-man. You may as well have his manhood in a jar, that poor boy. I'm trying to save him from your clutches here. Wow, it's patently obvious this conversation is pointless. I may as well be talking to a brick wall. Actually, no, that would be an insult to brick walls. I've heard all I need to hear. You have no intention of listening to what either of us have to say. Fine, forget it. We don't need your understanding or acceptance. Who do you think you are? Don't be so selfish. What makes you think you call the shots here anyway? I won't let you get away with what you're doing. You've got another thing coming if you think this is the end of this, madam. If you're just gonna keep talking at me while ignoring everything I say, then what's the point in us even talking at all? This is a waste of everyone's time. We're done talking to you. If you really care about Rodney, you'll accept that the best thing for us to do right now is to keep as much distance from you as possible. What are you talking about? Distance? Are you threatening me? I'm not threatening you. We're just making the only decision you've left us with. We're gonna be keeping our distance from you for the time being, or at least until you demonstrate to us that there's any value in talking to you. Rodney and I always knew we might have to do this one day. This was the straw that broke the camel's back. We knew that if you couldn't understand and accept our decision, we'd have no choice but to keep a healthy distance from you to preserve our sanity. What? Oh my God! So let me get this straight. Not only do you attempt to exterminate my bloodline by refusing to provide me with grandchildren, but now you're trying to snatch my own son away from me? You horrify me. Is there anything you're not capable of? You can think what you like of me. It's not my problem anymore. Who the hell do you think you are? You've gotten so big for your boots, you think you can steal my own son from me? You've got another thing coming if you think you're getting away with this, Missy. Hello, Megan. I heard someone attacked you and you got seriously injured. I hate to say I told you so, but this must be the universe's way of telling you to change your ways. Karma's a bitch, huh? I see you heard the news. Yes, I got attacked near the house. Whoever it was had some kind of baseball bat. How terrifying! There are some real lunatics on the streets these days. Did anything get stolen? Yes, they took my purse. Ah, so it was a robbery then. But why on earth did they have to hurt you if all they wanted was your money? How barbaric. I can't believe this kind of thing would happen in our neighborhood. It never used to be like this around here. The world's going to the dogs, I tell you. Right. You see it on the news all the time, but you never think it's gonna happen to you. Well, how are your injuries? The doctors tell me they'll take 3 months to heal. My legs are fine, other than a few grazes from when I hit the ground, so thankfully I can still walk. But there's a big crack in my left wrist bone. I see. Well, it could always be worse, I suppose. You should be grateful you can walk, my dear. Life on crutches would have been a nightmare. Sure, I'm grateful it's not worse, but having a broken wrist isn't exactly fun, you know? I'm left-handed, so I can't even do simple things like cooking my own food or getting dressed on my own anymore. I'm so sorry to hear that, dear. How awful. You poor thing, this couldn't have happened to a lovelier person. I hope they catch the guy who did it soon. Thanks for your kind words, Betty, but you don't need to worry one bit. They'll be arresting my attacker any minute now. Wait, what? They're going to arrest him? You mean they already know who did it? But I thought you said you didn't get a good look at his face. No, I didn't. But I know where she lives. Not long now, I'm outside my attacker's house with the cops as we speak. Huh? Now? Where are you? Like I just told you, outside my attacker's house. The kind of deranged lunatic who'd attack someone with a bat as they walked home needs to be taken off the streets and thrown in jail immediately. Wouldn't you agree? Well, yes, of course I agree. But do they really know who did it? How? They found a clue. A clue? What kind of clue? Surveillance cameras? Witnesses? What's wrong, Betty? You're asking an awful lot of questions all of a sudden. You seem agitated. Is there something bothering you? Something you'd like to share, maybe? I'm not agitated. I'm just curious about who did it is all. It's only natural I'd be worried if there was some lunatic roaming around the neighborhood with a bat. I might be in danger. They couldn't figure out who it was from the surveillance cam footage. They were crafty enough to wear a hood, and they took a route with no cameras when they escaped. The cops said it was either the fluke of a lifetime or it was someone with a pretty intimate knowledge of our neighborhood. They say they think it was a planned attack, but my purse that got stolen turned out to be the ultimate clue. Your purse? I totally forgot about this, but Rodney reminded me after we got done with my x-rays and getting patched up by the nurses at the hospital. I have a loss prevention tag in my purse. A loss prevention tag? What's that? It's like a GPS kind of thing. I bought a couple, actually. I have one clipped to the inside of my purse and another in my phone case. I can activate it with this little button on my keyring as well as with an app on my phone. I'm so forgetful. I'd forget my head if it wasn't screwed on. Rodney got me a bunch of them for Christmas a few years back. They're so handy. I can't tell you how many times they've saved my butt. Wait, do you mean you figured out where your attacker lives using this tracking device? Bingo! We were able to pinpoint exactly where she lives. Isn't modern technology amazing? That's why you don't need to worry yourself one bit. My attacker will be in jail before you know it. And the neighborhood will be safe once more. Wait a sec. You wouldn't happen to be worried for a different reason, would you? Like, I don't know. Maybe you'd be in trouble if my attacker got caught or something crazy like that. Betty, are you there? How long do you plan on holing yourself up in the house? I really think you should come out soon. You need to do something about the cops surrounding the place before I think about setting foot out there. There'll be a big ruckus if I come out, and that's the last thing either I or the neighbors need. Are you blind? There's already a big ruckus. Look at all the patrol cars. The neighbors are already out in droves. Haven't you seen the crowds? Everyone's wondering why there are so many cops outside your house. But don't worry, if you come out, things will calm down right away and everyone can get back to their normal lives. No, I can't. I can't be taken away by the cops in front of the entire neighborhood. There's a limit to how much embarrassment one person can take. But these lovely policemen would really like to have a chat with you, Betty. They're here to arrest you, after all, because you're a violent criminal. What? Who's a violent criminal? You, obviously. Me? Violent? I don't have a violent bone in my body, and I resent the accusation. I am your mother-in-law, young lady. Don't be so rude. But, Betty, you came at me from behind with a baseball bat and beat the crap out of me before I even had a chance to figure out what was going on. If that's not violent, then what is? We can go with barbaric or savage instead if you like. The bottom line is that you broke the law and my wrist, and you're going to face the consequences. Lies! There's no guarantee that this GPS tag of yours is accurate. Technology malfunctions all the time. Give me definitive proof or stop making these hurtful accusations at once. You're upsetting me. Definitive proof? Okay, you asked for it. Huh? I just had a look through the garden shed. Guess what I found? The bat you used to beat me black and blue with. What would an old lady living on her own need a baseball bat for? It seems suspicious, if you ask me. I think we should have the forensic guys test it out. That's, Rodney's old bat from back in the day. I came across it when I was cleaning out the shed last week. The only reason I left it leaning against the wall like that was because I was getting ready to throw it out. Really? Cool story, Betty. Want to know something else weird? There's this dark red stuff all over it. It's my blood, isn't it? I think this just about covers our definitive proof, don't you? So what's it gonna be? Something tells me the cops' patience is gonna run out if you keep insisting on keeping yourself holed up in there for much longer. I'm no criminal! I haven't done anything that warrants me being arrested. So that's what you're sticking to, huh? I see. You just broke the tag, didn't you? Do you not realize it's a little too late? There's nothing you can do to escape the hell that's about to come down on you. I at least thought you'd be intelligent enough to know when to give up, but I was obviously wrong. Are you calling me stupid? How dare you? Forgive me. I accidentally said what I really think of you. Do not make fun of me, young lady. This is not a joke. Your life is one big joke. How can I not make fun of you? Not liking me doesn't give you the right to use violence to beat me into submission with a baseball bat. These aren't the actions of someone with a brain, Betty. Aside from being wrong on every level, it was completely moronic and borderline psychopathic. You don't get to act like a cave-dwelling savage and not face the consequences. All I wanted to do was take back my son after you stole him from me, you heartless little witch. I was a mother in pain. Was what I did really so wrong? Anyone would have done what I did in my position. You needed to learn a lesson, so I taught you one. So you did this for Rodney? Something tells me he didn't want you to beat the crap out of his wife. He couldn't be more furious with you. In fact, I've never seen him this mad. Wait, what? Is Rodney here too? Yes, he's talking to the police at the moment. He told them to do whatever it takes to arrest you, even if that means using force. You've got another thing coming if you think he's gonna defend you. He wants you in the back of one of these cop cars more than anyone. He said you need to pay the price for what you did. No, this can't be happening. My son would never say that. Oh, by the way, there's something I forgot to tell you. A few days ago, me and Rodney decided we're going to adopt. We've been making phone calls to all the local orphanages. It looks like we're going to be able to have our family after all. This is all your fault for not being able to have children. None of this would be happening if you didn't have a barren wasteland for a womb. If you didn't tell me all that nonsense about adopting or fostering, I never would have had to buy that baseball bat. You might not be blood related, but any children we adopt would have been your grandkids. But we don't have any intention of letting you meet them now. Far from it. We're not even going to tell them you exist. I can't think of a single benefit of them knowing about someone as horrible and black-hearted as you. We're washing our hands of you. No matter what happens to you from here on out, it's not our problem. We'll never be there for you again. Not now, not ever. You mean you're hanging me out to dry? I wouldn't put it that way. I'd say it's more like we're having a tumor removed. Anyway, this wasn't my idea. It was Rodney's. There's no way he'd ever say that. Stop lying to me, Megan. You're sick. I'm guessing you stole my purse to make it look like a robbery? You probably thought you were really clever by covering your tracks like that, didn't you? I bet you didn't think it'd come back to bite you in the ass this hard. It's time to come out of the house and face the music. You shut your mouth. This is all your fault. All your fault, I tell you. You'll pay for this. You wouldn't believe some of the rumors going around the neighborhood about you, Betty. You really are the talk of the town. I doubt you're going to have any allies left when you get out of prison. I hope you're good at being on your own, because something tells me you're going to have a very lonely, isolated future ahead of you. You deserve every second of it, of course. Oh my God, how could you do this to me? I'm the victim in all of this. You stole my son. You called me an evil witch. But judging from some of the conversations I'm hearing out here, the public consensus is that you're the evil one. Rodney and I don't want anything more to do with you. We are so done. You said I was damaged goods, but from where I'm standing, the only damaged one here is you. And I mean that on a deep, psychological level. We'd have to be insane to carry on letting you play a part in our lives. See ya. Not long after that, Betty, accepting her fate, appeared on the doorstep and was quickly taken away in the back of a cop car in front of the entire neighborhood. She was given a hard time after a very speedy trial. It was an open and shut case due to my blood being all over the baseball bat I found in her shed. The only visitor she got was a single reporter from a local newspaper who wanted to do a piece on the whole affair. True to form, she desperately tried to defend herself and play the victim during the interview. Knowing her, she was probably arrogant enough to believe she could convince the reporter and the world of her innocence. However, when the article eventually came out, it made her look about as bad as it possibly could have. The piece, titled "Baseball Bat-Wielding Maniac Mother-in-Law from Hell," ripped her to shreds and portrayed her accurately as the deranged lunatic she is. Her futile attempts at asserting her innocence only made her look worse in the end. Once she was in jail, Rodney and I moved out of state somewhere she could never find us and adopted our first child. Her name is Clara, and she's the most adorable little girl you'll ever meet. It's a shame we couldn't have kids of our own. But every cloud has a silver lining, and it's precisely because we couldn't have our own children that we were blessed enough to meet her and have her in our lives. The workings of fate are mysterious and inexplicable. And even though it hasn't been plain sailing, me and Rodney feel nothing but grateful for what life has given us.
Hey, Kirky! You're on your lunch break now, right? How are you doing today? You're not feeling under the weather or anything, are you?
Huh? How did you know that I'm not feeling so good? I got this excruciating pain in my stomach. Not only that, but banging headache too.
Ugh, I knew it. I thought your face looked a little off color when you left for work this morning. I've been really worried something might be wrong with you.
Did I really look that rough? You can be really perceptive sometimes, Phoebe. I'm especially surprised you noticed since I felt more or less normal when I left work.
Oh, it's nothing really. I don't even have to look at you to know when something's off. I come from a long line of pharmacists, you know. My family have been dealing with the sick and unwell for eons. I kind of have this instinct for when people aren't at their best.
Actually, I guess my stomach started feeling a little funny after breakfast while I was still at the house. I didn't feel bad per se. And I would have never imagined I'd end up like this.
I see. Is it really that bad? How are you feeling now? You said your stomach's in excruciating pain. Are you okay, sweetie?
I'll be honest, I'm not doing great. This pain in my gut's been getting worse ever since I arrived at the office. I've had to run off to the toilet 5 times already. I'm like an active volcano. I'm not going to be able to get work done at this rate. I've got the most explosive diarrhea you could imagine.
Wow, that sounds awful. Are you sure you should be at work in this state?
I don't know if I'll even be physically able to continue if it carries on. I've been in a cold sweat since I got here. I wonder if I caught some kind of cold or stomach bug.
I heard from one of the girls that there's a stomach bug going around at the minute. Ah, I know. Maybe you caught it when we went to my folks' place the other day. My mom told me Dad fell ill not too long after we left.
Does he have a stomach bug too?
Yeah, he went to the doctor and they told him it was infectious gastroenteritis. Have you vomited at all?
As things stand, no. But I'd be lying if I said I didn't feel something coming on. Aw, man, is this gonna get even worse?
If it's the same thing my dad has, probably. He had all the same symptoms as you, except he was throwing up too.
How's he doing now? Did he recover?
I haven't heard, but him and my mom are both pharmacists, so they should know a thing or two about how to deal with a bug like this. He's probably fine.
I guess they do know their stuff. I hope he's okay.
Anyway, forget my dad. You need to focus on looking after yourself right now. Mom said you have to drink extra fluids to replace the ones you lose with the constant trips to the toilet so you don't dehydrate. Plus, remember, it's infectious. You should wear a mask, especially while you're at work, and wash your hands regularly. It could spread to your coworkers if you stay there.
Damn it, you're right. And that's the last thing I want.
If it's really the same thing my dad had, it's definitely infectious. It wouldn't be that surprising if your coworkers started coming down with stuff. I think it's for the best that you tell the boss how you're feeling and come home ASAP. Can you do that?
Maybe I should come home. It's not like I have that much to do today anyway. It'd be a nightmare if it spread to everyone. Most of the folks in my department have families and kids. If I'm not careful, we could have a pandemic of loose bowels on our hands.
Hopefully you can get home soon. Drive safe, sweetie. If you need to stop off to use the toilet at a service station, don't hesitate. It'd be such a shame if our car seats got stained.
Okay, leave it with me. I'm gonna stop by at the docks first. Mine's still open.
Wait, what? You're going to the doctor's?
Yeah, of course. I want to get confirmation on what it is and take whatever drugs I need to get rid of it as soon as I can. I'll have peace of mind that way.
Okay, I see. Make sure you tell the doc that you were near someone with infectious gastroenteritis recently. They'll be able to see you faster that way.
Good idea. Thanks. You've been a big help, Phoebe.
Pleased to be of help, sweetie. I don't know anything about medical treatment myself.
But you said it yourself. Your family's been in medicine since the dinosaur times. I bet you know a damn sight more than I do.
I'm no expert. Sure, my family's been in medicine for a long time, but they were mostly just pharmacists. The only doctor was my grandpa.
Oh yeah? That reminds me, how are you doing? You could come down with something too. Any symptoms?
I'm fine, sweetie.
What about Trent? Anything out of the ordinary with him? He has his high school finals coming up soon. Chronic diarrhea is the last thing he needs on his plate.
Apparently my dad was the only one at my folks' place who came down with anything. My mom and little brother were fine. Seems like just because you're in close contact with one of the infected doesn't necessarily mean you'll come down with it.
The infected? Cut it out, I'm not a zombie. Anyway, I'm pleased to hear it. I feel awful for Trent if he came down with it and had to postpone his exams.
Yeah, it would be a shame. He'd be super disappointed. He's been studying so hard to fulfill his dream of becoming a doctor. Mom said he went into panic mode and holed himself up in his bedroom with a week's supply of food like some doomsday prepper when he found out my dad got ill.
Wow, he's really taking his exam seriously. I respect that. Still, let your mom and bro know that they need to be extra careful now. It seems like I have it too. Pass my best wishes on to your dad as well.
Thanks, Kirk. But really, you don't have to worry about my family. They'll be fine. You should be focusing on yourself. You might not think stomach bugs are that dangerous since most people recover on their own in a few days, but there are cases when people get hospitalized. Good morning, Kirky. Did you have breakfast yet?
No food till noon. Doctor's orders.
Oh, are you still fasting?
Yeah. You would not believe how hungry I am right now.
At least you have your appetite. That can only be a good thing. I bet you can't wait for lunchtime.
I would be, but he said I'm only allowed to eat plain oatmeal, but I doubt I'll enjoy it that much.
You should just be grateful you still have your appetite, sweetie. How are you feeling today?
A little better, actually, but the diarrhea and vomiting still haven't stopped.
Oh, still not great then. I guess if it was bad enough that you had to be admitted to the hospital, it's not the kind of thing that would get better overnight.
No kidding. I really underestimated this thing. I never expected to feel so bad all of a sudden when I got to the doctor's. I can only thank my lucky stars I made it there in time for them to help me. I shudder to think what might have happened if I'd been driving. I couldn't believe it when they said I needed to be admitted to the hospital.
They said you were severely dehydrated, right?
Yeah, that's right. They said they'll be able to discharge me the day after tomorrow at the earliest.
What? The day after tomorrow? Isn't that too early? Is that really enough time for you to get better?
Yeah, at least that's what the doctor said.
Really? That just seems lazy. I can't help but feeling he's not treating this with the gravity it deserves. Are you really going to be better by then?
I'm sure it's still not much of a big deal, don't worry. I might still be visiting the crapper at regular 30-minute intervals, but I feel a heck of a lot better in myself compared to yesterday. I've got a feeling the doctor's right, and I'll be better in a couple of days if I just keep resting up and taking it easy.
Really? Your symptoms must be a lot milder than I expected.
This mild? You kidding? It feels pretty heavy from where I'm laying. Gastroenteritis is not to be messed with.
But I guess it can't be anything too serious if they think you'll be ready for discharge in a couple of days. I was terrified when I heard you'd collapsed at the doctor's surgery. I thought it must be as bad as it gets.
You almost sound disappointed. Even if my symptoms are on the mild end, I'm still not having a great time here, you know.
Oh, don't be silly. Of course I'm relieved you're getting better, sweetie.
Hey, morning, Kurt. Sup, Trent? It's great to hear from you. A long time no see. How long has it been now? You're too long. Sorry about that. I've been crazy busy with my exam prep lately. Oh, and sorry to bug you at this hour. Were you asleep? Nope, I'm very much awake. I'm finding it hard to get a good night's sleep in the hospital bed. All this exam business is bet you're real early, huh? What's up? You're getting discharged from the hospital soon, right? Yeah, they said tomorrow at the earliest. I'm about to have some bloods done. If everything comes back all right, I should get the all clear to go home. I see. Why do you want to know what day I get out of the hospital? Oh, I know. You're planning on throwing me a celebration party, right? You shouldn't have, Trent. You're the best. No, Kirk, it's not that. This is serious. It's after you get out of the hospital. Do not come back home. You won't get off with just a few days in hospital next time. What did you just say? What does that even mean? Are you gonna elaborate? Kirk, I think they're trying to kill you. You need to escape somewhere, anywhere. Just get away. What the hell? Who might be trying to kill me? Escape? What are you saying? Your stomach bug? I don't think you caught it off my dad. I think they just made it look that way. Who the heck would want to kill me? What is this, some kind of mafia movie? I'm just a freaking office worker. I sit in a cubicle by day and watch TV with my wife by night. Who am I, Tony Montana? There's someone who would have a lot to gain if you died. A lot to gain? Who? How? You're not making any sense. Trent, are you taking drugs? Look, I know it's common for students to take things to help them study these days, but it can be very dangerous. They can make you hallucinate. Trent, are you taking something? No, Kirk. I don't even drink coffee, you're crying out loud. This is serious. Just answer me this. Who would get the insurance payout if you died? Who's the only person who has access to your food and drink? Who's the only person who would be willing to slip in you something and making you ill if they so desired? Whoa, you stop right there. You are not seriously accusing Phoebe of putting me in the hospital by poisoning my Rice Krispies, are you? No way, she'd never do that. Never ever. You should talk about your big sister with more respect, Trent. I didn't think you were like this. The only reason you're saying that is because you don't know what my sister's actually like. Now I'm telling you, my sister and parents are conspiring to hurt you and take your money. I think they're trying to kill you. This isn't a joke and it isn't a prank. Why would I be telling you this, Kirk? Think about it. I've never been more serious about anything in my life. It's not that I don't trust you, but this is just too nuts, dude. I'm finding it a little difficult to take in. Me and Phoebe have been getting along great lately. Besides, even if we weren't, I doubt she'd have it in her to do anything like that. But I overheard them. Phoebe and my parents. I overheard them discussing their plan. Their plan? To slip something into your food. My mom and dad run a pharmacy, so they have access to all kinds of drugs. I overheard them talking about it. I heard everything they were discussing, I heard everything. They were discussing which drug to use so you wouldn't taste anything, to inflict enough damage to do the job. Wait, seriously? Yes, seriously. That's why I think you should disappear somewhere far away as quickly as you possibly can. I totally get that you find it difficult to take in, believe me. I thought I was hearing things when I overheard them. I know it sounds nuts, but I swear, it's God's honest truth. You really think I joke about something like this? No, I don't. Oh my God. I can't believe Phoebe and your parents would do something like that. It seemed like it was my parents' idea. They were giving my sister instructions and advice on what to do and how to get away with it without being found out. She's their pawn. They plan on splitting the insurance payout when you're gone. Are they really that desperate for money? I seriously can't believe this. You might not know this, but my mom and dad are in a lot of debt. The family pharmacy hasn't been doing so well over recent years. I think that's the motive. Huh? It hasn't, but last I heard, it was thriving. Sure, 5 years back maybe? Things were doing great until the big general hospital nearby relocated as part of an expansion project. The pharmacy was in the red within the same month, and things haven't been the same ever since. To add insult to injury, the new drugstore got built near the station not long after. There was no coming back after that, but they were too proud to accept that it was over. Instead of doing the sensible thing and shutting up shop for good, they went into debt to prop it up artificially. The only customers they get these days are a couple of old regulars who live in the neighborhood. Whoa, I had no idea. You know how they say money changes people, right? Well, it's true, Kirk. I found it hard to believe my family could be involved in something this horrific. I still don't want to accept it, but God, I heard it with my own ears. Trent, I knew it was real the moment I heard you'd been taken to the hospital. There's no telling what they might do next. You have to get away. I doubt you'll get off this lightly a second time. It's now or never. You're right. But even if I do disappear somewhere, what about you? Surely they'll figure out you told me. It could be your life in danger next. They can all go to prison for all I care. No, let me rephrase that. They should go to prison. You can't just try to kill someone and get away with it. I told you this being fully aware of the implications. You're right. If what you're saying is true, we have to tell the police. But Trent, what would become of your future if your whole family got arrested? You'll be taking your final before long. What about your dream of becoming a doctor? I always knew how kind you were, Kirk. To think that even with my family conspiring to kill you, your priority is not ruining my future. I can't believe they try to hurt you. Now, I'll never forgive them for this. Please, don't hold back on my account. Even still, the thought of you ruining your future over this, I can't, Trent. I just can't. You're still so young. You have so many hopes, so many dreams, so many ambitions. It's fine, really. You wouldn't be destroying my future at all. I'll still be able to fulfill my dreams, so don't worry about me, okay? I'll go stay with my grandparents when my family get arrested. My grandpa and grandma are good people. They'd never condone what's going on. They'll let me live with them, I'm sure of it. Besides, when I heard Mom and Dad were up to their ears in debt, I decided to go to college on a scholarship instead of letting them pay for it. So I'm not as dependent on them as you might think. I see you thought this through. I guess in that case, there's nothing stopping me from doing what needs to be done. Exactly. So don't worry about me. Focus on making your escape. My deranged parents and sister are probably already plotting their next move as we speak. They won't let you get off so lightly again. Got it. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna keep my discharge a secret from Phoebe. Then I'm gonna leave the hospital without her knowing and, I wonder if I should go lay low at my parents' place. You'll have to go back home to get your things first, right? You let me know when you're getting discharged as soon as you find out. I'll create a distraction by inviting our sister over to our place. That way, there'll be no chance of you running into her while you go home. Got it. Thank you, Trent. I'm so sorry to burden you with all this. My sister came over to our place as soon as you got admitted to the hospital. I'm guessing my mom and dad gave her some stronger drugs to finish the job with. You should have a look around your house while she's there. Maybe you can find something incriminating, like the drugs themselves or some things you might be able to use against them in court. Good idea. All right, I will. Are you really sure you're safe, Trent? If we go ahead with this, there's no going back. They'll probably figure out it was me who ratted them out as soon as they realize you're gone. But I'm safe for now, at least. Can we meet up once I get out of the hospital? The cops need to know what's going on. I'd feel a lot better if we went and told them together. Plus, it'd make our crazy-sounding story more convincing. You're right. Okay, let's report them together. All right, well, I think that just about covers everything. Let me know as soon as you find out when you're getting discharged.
Hey, Kirk, sweetie. How are you feeling? I've been so worried about you since I heard the doctors extended your stay. I went to see my parents today, so I'm going to stop by at the hospital to see how you're doing and drop off a few things. Let me know if there's anything you want.
It's fine. I'm already out.
Huh? You're already out? What does that mean?
I got discharged yesterday afternoon.
What? But you told me they extended your stay yesterday. What are you talking about?
I lied. The truth is, I got discharged yesterday. I'm not at the hospital anymore.
Why would you lie? And why haven't you been home? What are you doing? And where?
I won't be revealing that. I lied about them delaying my discharge to give me time to escape from you.
What? Why would you need to escape from me?
Why wouldn't I need to escape from you? You're trying to kill me.
Wait, what? What the hell are you talking about? Did you hit your head? Did they mess up your medication at the hospital or something? Huh, seems like your guts aren't the only things malfunctioning, because this is just plain crazy talk.
This hospital stay of mine was all the result of your botched plan to get rid of me, wasn't it? You wanted the money from the life insurance payout. You plotted it all with your parents, didn't you?
I've never heard of such a load of nonsense in my life. Have you even heard yourself? We'd never do that. How could you even accuse us of this? There are some things you just don't say to people. I'm disgusted with you.
You can cut the phony indignation. Trent told me everything. He knew all about your plan. He warned me and told me I should escape as soon as I got discharged.
Are you kidding? Trent?
Yep. You've been at your parents' place since this morning, right? I used the opportunity to sneak back home while you were away and did some investigating. When I did, I found a strange bottle of medicine I have absolutely no recollection of seeing before.
Uh-huh. That's weird. I wonder what it is. I don't know anything about that.
We'll find out soon enough. I filed a police report, and whatever it is, it's away at the lab for testing. They were filing for the search warrant on the house as I left. They'll probably be turning the place upside down before long.
The police are going to search the house?
They probably sent some officers over to your mom and dad's place, too.
Why would they do that? You mean you sent the police to interrogate my parents? That's horrible.
Me? Horrible? You've got some nerve. You tried to kill me, you psycho bitch. You guys were my family. I was ready to spend my life with you. If this is how you repay me? By trying to murder me for an insurance payout? You're sick.
No, I didn't. I wouldn't. You're making some kind of mistake. I don't know anything about that bottle.
Please, will you just tell me the truth? I'll know before long anyway. So why not just tell me?
I swear, I don't know anything. I'm your wife, Kirk. Won't you believe me? You still love me, don't you? If you do, believe me, please.
Hey, sis, it's me, Trent. I think it's time to give the pathetic excuse a rest. I'm embarrassed just reading your messages.
Trent?
Me and Kirk made up after you left the house. We're together now.
What the hell do you think you're playing at, boy? I'll have your head for this. Are you trying to turn me and your parents into criminals?
I don't need you to turn into criminals. That's what you already are. You're not worming your way out of this one, no matter how much you lie. Kirk found the drug you used.
What drug? I don't know anything about a damn drug.
I overheard you talking to Mom and Dad, Phoebe. About your plan to kill your husband for a life insurance payout? Obviously, we told the police. If they ask me to testify against you in court, I'll do it in a heartbeat.
You'd betray your family like this?
The only traitor here is you. Refusing to stay quiet while you murder your husband does not make me a traitor.
You knew how much Mom and Dad were struggling financially, didn't you? What do you think's going to happen to the pharmacy if they get wrapped up in a police scandal like this? Did you even think before you acted, you mindless idiots? No one will trust them anymore. No one will ever set foot in that pharmacy for as long as they live.
It's hardly surprising that people wouldn't trust a pharmacy with a track record of intentionally poisoning people, is it? You only have yourselves to blame. They deserve more than bankruptcy. Keeping silent will make me complicit, and I refuse to have any part in your twisted scheme.
You're still part of this family. Do you seriously think it's acceptable to try and send me and your parents to prison? Is that how you repay Mom and Dad for raising you?
Gratitude has nothing to do with it, but now that you mention it, you should know I feel none whatsoever. I know how badly you know how badly I want to be a doctor, right? Any gratitude I felt towards them for raising me got canceled out the moment they tried to commit such a horrific crime. Don't get me wrong. I can't condone what you guys did on a basic human level, but as someone aspiring to be a doctor, this goes doubly so. I want to protect people's health, not destroy it. I'm done with you all. I'm cutting you out of my life like the tomb as you are. I'll be going it alone from here on out.
You heartless prick.
Heartless? That's reach coming from someone who tried to murder your own husband. I won't be coming home. In fact, you'll never see me again. Goodbye.
Trent, wait.
Trent doesn't want anything more to do with you or his parents. I suggest you prepare to pay the consequences for your actions.
Kirk, you can't do this to me. I told you I didn't do it. I didn't do what you're accusing me of. Why won't you believe me? I'm your wife. You believe my little brother over me? Your own wife?
Trent's a good kid. He isn't the type to tell lies, especially about something this serious.
You don't know what he's really like. He's always pulling pranks. This is probably just one of them. Don't fall for it.
Trying to murder your husband would be bad enough on its own. But to try and murder your husband when your little bro has his high school finals coming up, you're not just the worst wife ever, you're the worst sister too. Do you seriously think Trent will risk throwing away his whole future by doing something like this as a prank?
I love you.
Oh, Dick, how do you explain the fact that you quadrupled my life insurance policy behind my back then? Yep, that's right. I know. I saw the emails, found the receipts, and when I called up the insurance company, they said everything had been verified with my documents. Don't you think the timing's all just a little too inconvenient? You tried to kill me. I'm sure of it.
What if you're wrong?
I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. If I'm wrong, I'll apologize, beg for forgiveness, and try to make up for the pain I put you through with every fiber of my being. I promise you that. If you genuinely didn't know anything about any of this, you'd happily cooperate with the police as they do their investigation so they can clear your names as soon as possible.
Can't believe you reported me to the damn cops. You have no idea how lucky you are. I wish you died that day.
And there it is. I knew it. You did your best to convince me it was just a stomach bug. You really had me fooled. I thought you were just asking all those questions out of kindness because you were worried about me, but it turns out you just wanted progress updates on your murder plot.
What use are you to me alive? I only ever married you for your money in the first place. Who the hell would marry a dweeb like you for anything other than money?
I really know how you feel about me now. We're getting a divorce. No doubt the cops will be filing criminal charges against you for trying to kill me, but I'm filing civil charges on top of it. I want compensation for what you put me through.
I would have used the whole damn bottle if I knew it'd come back to this. I had no idea my brother would stab me in the back.
I owe Trent my life. He's an amazing person with a firm sense of right and wrong who doesn't get swayed by the wills and opinions of those around him, family or otherwise. I don't want to see the future he worked so hard for coming to ruin. That's why the sooner the low-life criminals who call themselves his family are behind bars where they belong, the better. I think we all knew, but it was later confirmed in the police investigation that the drug Phoebe used to try and kill me came from her parents' pharmacy. It was a 100% match with the strange substance I found stashed away at our house. It also just so happens that the side effects of overdosing on that drug are the exact same as the symptoms I was hospitalized with. Between the fact that the premium on my life insurance policy was suddenly quadrupled directly before the incident, Trent's testimony in court, and some other evidence that surfaced during the investigation, Phoebe and her parents didn't have a hope in hell's chance of getting away with it. She was charged with attempted murder, and my in-laws were charged with aiding and abetting. I immediately divorced her and won a huge sum in compensation in civil court. Needless to say, her parents' pharmacy finally went bust. Trent went to live with his grandparents after his disgraced sister and parents got thrown in jail, just like he said he would. He aced his exams. He's set to start college this fall. If anyone's got what it takes to become a doctor, it's him. And I just know he'll make a great one. I'm incredibly grateful to Trent, and I feel lucky to be here, happily enjoying newly single life. If not for his courage, I'd be 6 feet under.
Michelle, I just heard about you from your mom. You're going to be able to come today, right? And so what? It's my family's house, so I can go there whenever I please. And I don't need your guys' permission to be able to live there for a while, right? Well, if you're just coming over to say hi for a bit, then I won't say a thing. But for some reason, I think the reason you're coming is to get more money. Your mom's already been through enough at this point. The one that has been going through enough has been me. Ever since you guys started living with my mom, nothing has been a problem for you all. And perhaps that's the reason that I haven't been getting any money from her. Well, maybe it has to do something with the fact that you're old enough now to be supporting yourself. So please, stop coming over here and try to get some more money out of her. You've already gotten a lot from her, so you should be good now, right? Huh? That has nothing to do with what's happening now, though. I'm getting close to having my debt paid off. And it's because of you two that my mom hasn't come around to giving me any money yet. If I'm not able to pay off my debts because you two getting in my way, what am I going to do? You're in debt? Have you been borrowing money or something again? Weren't you able to pay off all of your debts last time with the help of your mom? Well, I happen to take out even more money. You should have known that once you've paid off one debt, you're bound to make another. If I don't borrow money, I'll never be able to afford the things I love. That isn't a good reason to be going that far into debt all the time, though. By taking out money all the time like that, you're creating more problems than if you could just live without everything you wanted to have. Are you not worried about how this affects everyone else? You just keep going on, don't you? The money that I borrow has nothing to do with you, Jasmine, so stop talking to me like you're my mom or something. Well, if it has nothing to do with me, then it shouldn't with your mom, right? So this time, pay it all yourself. Huh? I'm the daughter of my mom. And when it comes to her daughter getting into debt, that also becomes her debt. Stop acting like it has nothing to do with her, would you? So stupid. I don't think that's how it works, though. Even if you are related to each other as mother and daughter, you are old enough now where your problem should be handled by you. Then why are you both taking care of my mom while she's gotten old? If her problems have nothing to do with others in the family, then she should be able to handle herself, right? Or can she not do that anymore? What's going on with you and what's going on with her are two different things. And when it comes to the care that your mom is receiving, she is paying for it all by herself. So just like the adult she is, she's making sure to handle her own problems with the tools she has. What the heck? I never knew that she was paying for all of that. Well, if she has that much money to be throwing around, that means you and my brother are practically living there for free. That's disgusting of you guys. Well, the only money that she's handing out right now is that of which is paying for her to be taken care of. paying for the house nurse to come check on her, and paying for the travel to the hospital when she needs to go. But to make sure that she's financially okay, Toby is in charge of Mom's checkbook. When it comes to him and I, though, your mom doesn't give us anything. We make sure to pay for the house and everything ourselves. You say that, but I'm sure you're just staying quiet and using her money secretly. You and Toby are some sneaky rats. You say you're living there for Mom's sake, but I know you're both just in it for the money. You're very much wrong about that. Now stop trying to make either one of us look bad. You both have it so easy. By living with her, you can just buy whatever you want without having to worry about money. I want some of that money as well. But I told you it's not like that here. Now would you stop acting like a child? Say whatever you want about yourselves, but I know that you're both lying. Well, if it's going to be like that, I wonder if Mom could just kick the can sooner rather than later for me. If that were to happen now, I'd be able to get whatever money comes out of her. I don't care how vile of a person you are. You cannot say something like that about your own mom. If she heard you say that, she'd be beyond upset with you. Well, it's on her for not giving her cute daughter any more money. That must mean she's not fit to be my mother anymore. But if she doesn't want to give me anything, that's fine. But her death will be what she gets for doing this to me. For the time being, will you stop thinking about trying to take her money? Neither Toby or I nor your mom are in the mood to talk about things like that with you. So zip it. Alright, I'll try to do my best to keep quiet. Hey Jasmine, did you know about that? Know about what? What are you talking about right now? You know exactly what I'm asking about right now. Why am I not going to be getting any of my mom's inheritance? What the heck are you talking about, Michelle? I'm sorry, but I've heard nothing about your mom's will or anything like that. So what exactly do you mean by saying you're not going to get any of her inheritance? It's in her will. I was just in her room and I just found it. And written in it is her saying that all of her properties will be given to Toby. Hold on just a moment. When you say you were in your mom's room looking around, does that mean right now? I just told you that I found it, so of course I'm in here right now. But right now, Toby, your mom and I are all out of the house, and nobody's there, right? So you went in there without asking any of us? And what does it matter that I let myself in? Right now, we need to talk about the will. I want to know what the hell is going on here. It does matter that you let yourself in, though. No matter whether you think it's okay or not to walk into your parents' house, if they didn't say you could, then that is breaking and entering. Not only that, but you've rummaged through her room. Even if we're your family, there are limits to what you can do around us. Stop being such a little prick. I came to get some money and nobody was here. So I had no other choice at that point. So in other words, you're saying that you came to the house to get more of Mom's money? That's not acceptable. But I told you that it doesn't matter now. The problem right now is that I'm not written anywhere in her will. You're with my mom right now, aren't you? For all of you. We're at the hospital. Ever since this morning, your mom's health has gone far downhill. We've even tried to give you a few calls, right? You called me? I never remember seeing that. We've called you at least 4 times. But you never decided to pick up the phone or give us a call back, so we all went in without you. Right now, your mom is in a really bad shape, and we are starting to think that it's her time. Huh? But if that happens, I'll be in trouble. If she's planning on dying, have her take this will and fix it so that my name's in there too. I don't think this is the time to be asking for something like that from her. Right now, she's with Toby getting a few tests run on her. But we are all well aware that things could not end well for your mom. And that's why you need to tell that hag that before things get worse, she needs to fix this will. Where is the hospital you're at? I'm going to come there right away, so tell me. I don't feel like telling you. Huh? You're not even related to us by blood, so what do you think you're doing saying that? This is not the time to be keeping me away from my mom and brother. But if you come here, all you'll care about is the money and that will, right? Even though she's too weak right now to listen to you. If you start talking to her about all of that, she might just die because of you. I don't care about any of that. Now stop pestering me and tell me where that hospital is right now. If you don't let me get there before she passes away, what am I going to do? Understood. I'll tell you the location of the hospital, but you'd better come quick. But when you get here, I don't want you saying a word about wanting money and all that crap. Why are you trying to call me so much right now? Aren't you supposed to be pretty busy? Don't ask me that, like you don't already know why I'm calling now. I might want to ask you where you might have run off to. Right now, we are in the middle of a funeral and you're not here. I'm sorry. I had some things that I needed to attend to. And you're telling me that there are things you have to do more important than being at your mom's funeral? There should be nothing besides this funeral that you have to attend right now. Well, that depends on the person, right? Also, I never actually thought that my mom would kick the can that early. The fact that she was already dead by the time I got to the hospital was a real letdown. I was never able to get her to correct her will for me, so I have some things to take care of right now. I remember you talking about that, but at this point, that doesn't need to matter to you. All you need to be thinking about is your mom and her funeral, so hurry up and get back here. All the rest of your family and friends are waiting for you to come back. Nope, I'm not coming back. I have a lot of things to work on now and things like that. What are you even talking about? Hurry up and get back here right now. No, thank you. At first when you called me, I started to panic a bit, but it still seems that even after all this time, you haven't figured out what I'm up to. What do you mean I haven't figured out what you're up to yet? What is going on with you? I'm talking about Mom's checkbook and bank information, and both of those are in my hands right now. Huh? Her checkbook and bank information? You're talking about Mom's? That's right, Mom's. Hey, I told you back then what was written in her will, right? It said that all her properties will go to Toby. I do remember you saying that. But could this mean that by some chance, you're actually planning to pull all her money out by yourself? That's exactly what I'm planning on doing. And actually, I've already pulled all her money out. Everything in her bank account now is mine. Thank goodness I was able to get all of this out before her bank account was frozen. What the hell do you think you're doing? Do you not even understand what can happen to you for doing something like that? Nothing's going to happen to me, Jasmine. This is all happening within the family, so when you try and ask the police for help, they'll just say, we have to deal with it as a family business. And since I knew that she didn't have me in her will, I had to look into all of this more. Even if that could be the case, there is a line between doing good and doing bad, right? No matter how upset you are for not being in her will, what you've done is just a major crime. Yeah, I get that it's difficult to be on the short end of the stick. I understand how it's frustrating it must be to know that you won't be getting any of my mom's inheritance, but it's too late now to do anything. Stop acting like a frickin' idiot and give us all that money back right now. Right now, we're already having to deal with the loss of your mom at her funeral. Are you not frickin' embarrassed by what all you've done while the rest of the family is mourning? I just pulled out all her money, so I don't care if what I've done is embarrassing. And also, no matter what you all call me and say to me, it's too late. I'm going to make sure to use up all this money right now. And by the time you'll all find me, it'll once again be too late. You're going to use up all that money soon? How are you going to be able to do that in such a short time? Do you not understand how much debt I have right now? I'll put most of this money into paying all that off, and then the rest will go into buying all the things I've been wanting. And I even am making sure to buy things that I don't want now, but may want down in the future. But most of this, I've already prepared myself for, because I knew this day would be coming. So you can all say goodbye to all this money. That's not the problem. I'm saying that what you're doing is very wrong. Even if you can get to the police to come find me, I haven't committed any crimes by doing this. So nothing about what I've done so far is wrong, if you understand me now. You and all the rest of the family can go back watching the funeral and crying. I'll let you know when I've spent everything, okay? Bye-bye now. Hello, Jasmine. How are you doing? I just used up all my money, so I'm sure you're not doing too great. Michelle, you really had the nerve to never come back to your mom's funeral, huh? I'm sure your mom is really sad now. My mom is dead now. She can't feel sad for anything if she's no longer around, you idiot. You think too much about dead people. Maybe it's just because I had a deep relationship with your mom all these years, but she was never really my mom. However, for you, she was the woman that gave birth to you and raised you. Aren't you at least a bit sad that she's no longer around? Yes. Oh, I'm so sad. Anyways, I have something else to tell you. I made sure to use every last penny of my mom's inheritance, and there's nothing left now to hand to you and Toby. Bad luck this time. I can't believe it. What the hell did you even think of your mom? Shut the hell up, you dog. What does it matter now? She's already dead and 6 feet under, so we can stop worrying about her. But please tell me, has losing all this money that wasn't meant for you guys made your heart stop? I'm pretty sure you're pretty much dead inside as well now, right? Well, when it comes to her money, I don't care. But just to entertain you, you ended up using it all, huh? You're in for one hell of a time now, Michelle. You poor soul. Huh? Why are you trying to act all tough still? Have you gone off the deep end now that the money's all gone? No, we'll be getting our money. Wait, what are you even saying? Did I not just tell you that it's all used up? Are you actually so shocked by this that you can't even understand my English? Oh, I understood everything you told me, but the amount you ended up spending was the only amount that she had in that one bank account, correct? And that was all the money she had for me, right? There is no more money for her to give anymore. I get that there's her house and stuff left over, but in terms of money, she's all out, right? That money that you spent was the money she had saved for you. Your mom happened to have multiple bank accounts where she had kept money for different purposes. What are you even talking about? In her will, it said everything would go to Toby, right? So there was no reason for her to have money saved up for me. The will you found in her nightstand drawer was an old copy of her will. But when Toby found out that she wanted to give him everything, he turned her down. So your mom ended up making a new will, and then had that one taken away with the lawyer she had. Toby turned that down? Is that kid a freaking idiot or something as well? He thought that if he got everything from your guys' mom, then you might try and fight him over it. So Toby thought it would be better to give you some things. That's not what I expected, but... So you're saying that I didn't have to go through all of this for my part of her money? Well, that doesn't matter now because that money I spent is all gone. During the wedding, everyone was having a laugh about you. They were practically crying because of how amusing it was that you'd steal your own money. And now, because of that, you've brought a lot more trouble on yourself for no reason. Huh, what? I was going to get that money anyway, so what other trouble could I have made for myself? When it comes to the checkbook and bank information you took, those were supposed to be taken care of by Toby, and you ended up stealing those before the lawyer had legally granted you the money in your mom's account. But this is all has to do with business inside our family, so it doesn't really matter now, right? The police can't do a thing about this, right? Whether or not the police can do anything about you, there is still the court system. And even if you only spent the amount that was supposed to go to you, there is the problem of you stealing something that wasn't yours. Right now, Toby is telling me he'll sue you for that. Huh? Sue me? You have to be kidding me! If you would have just let things be, then none of this would have to happen. I really do feel sorry for you, Michelle. Consider this your apology to your mom, so make sure you pay everything you'll owe to Toby. After that, Toby took his sister to court. Then they fought her over for not just stealing the checkbook and bank information of his mom, but also for stealing all the money out of her mom's bank account before it had been legally been given to her. And after listening to the verdict, Michelle was forced to pay Toby a very large settlement that not only included the money for all the trouble she caused, but also having to pay back every penny she took out of the account. Of course, the amount of money she was supposed to receive from her mom was not that much, but when you throw in all the rest of the settlement, she is going to be left with one hell of a headache. And because of that large amount, my sister-in-law is still working on paying it all off. If she would have just behaved herself and let things go as planned, she would have gotten the money she had been so desperate to get. But because of her lack of humanity and greed, she set herself a trap of her own demise. With everything that's happened to her now, you could say she definitely got what she deserved. But as for me, I want to make sure that this was enough to get her too. Understand that everything she did to her mom was wrong, and that she's sorry for all of it. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.